From downtown, this is Tim Kitzer from NBA Jam, and you're listening to NintenDomain Podcast. Boom shakalaka!
This week on NintenDomain, this is our final Nintendo Switch 1 episode. What are our favorite games for Switch 1? Final form. And John has some top beat-em-ups.
June 11th. That misses the target.
Thank you, Grandma.
Thank you. Welcome to NintenDomain Podcast, episode 474. It's Palindrome. Your place to hear Nintendo fans be super excited for Nintendo Switch 2, which is coming out in 2 days from now. We're recording before the release, but it's so close I can taste it.
Tastes like earwax.
But we are your hosts. I'm Trey. No midnight release for me, Johnson.
I'm Jeremy. That butterfly meme. Is this Mario Galaxy 3? Wachowski.
John's gonna get one somehow, knitter.
I mean, I think you got a chance. We all got a chance, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're like I said, we're a couple days before the release. Yeah, we're all here. We're all here together again, and let's start off the show as we normally do and talk about games we got and games that we've been playing. John wasn't on last week, so why don't you start us off here?
Well, sure. I wasn't on last week because some sad news. My grandmother passed away, and so I just wanted to. I don't really have anything that I played this week because I was fortunate to be with her in the last couple of days, and she passed peacefully in her home, and so we were all there with her, and I was staying over at her house for 3 days in a row, just kind of helping out and sitting with her, and I did get some nice last words with her, and I got about as good as a goodbye as you could possibly get. She kissed my hand and said I love you and all that. So it was really nice. I mean, it was, that's nice is a strange word to use for saying goodbye to somebody like that, but it was as good a goodbye as I could have asked for, and I knew that this was on Monday was the last time that she was speaking, and she like I said, she kissed my hand and said I loved you, and said I love you, Grandma, and yep, I knew from that moment that was the time to step away. I was like, I don't want to hang around any longer because I just felt like that was a perfect goodbye. So I went home that night, and I came back the next day, and then I just ended up staying. I brought one change of clothes. Tuesday night because I thought, well, I think I might want to stay. I don't know. And I think that she maybe has one more day or something. So I brought one change of clothes, and she ended up staying around for 3 more days. So I just kept washing my clothes and hanging there, and with my mom and my dad, and we were also staying over there, and yeah, so it was peaceful. It was nice to see people coming by, friends and family, and that she got to pass in her home, and my mom was telling me, a reassuring story where grandma kept, reaching up, up, up toward the ceiling, and mom would say, put your arms, because she was kind of restless and everything. And mom would say, put your arms down, put your arms down. Finally, after several times of reaching up, my mom says, Mom, are you reaching for someone? And my grandma said, yes. Mom said, who are you reaching for? My grandma said, I'm reaching for my mom. And my mom said, who else did you see? And my grandma started listing people. My mom would say, do you see this person? Yes. Do you see that person? Yes. Do you see that person? No. That person? Yes. No. Yes. No. Yes. No. And so it was just reassuring. So it took a lot of heart in that. I believe that she's with my grandpa now and everybody else. And I can picture them together on their boat that they had for many years, just having a good old time again. So yeah. So I know we're excited this week and everything, and it's like, but I just wanted to start off by maybe listing off a few games that my grandma got me over the years, just to bring it, to our theme and everything. But really, what I'm talking about is, caring for our loved ones. My grandma gave me these gifts over the years, and she was by no means a gamer, but she knew that I loved video games, and that was the way to express her love to me. From the time I was a little kid up until into my 20s, I think was the last time she bought me a video game. But so I have a couple of them right here that she got me over the years. I just wanted to go through them real quick. A big one. So she actually got this for my sister. I mentioned my grandma had a boat. One of my most vivid gaming memories is going onto my grandpa's boat for my older sister Jenny's birthday. This would have been, I think this was 1990. Yep. So Jenny was turning 10. And I remember seeing, a small stack of gifts for Jenny on the boat. But of course, we just arrived, and we're not just going to open presents right away. But one of them, I could see through the wrapping. I knew exactly what it was right away. And I was so like, I want to grab this thing and run home right now, because it was Super Mario Brothers 3.
Wow.
Yeah, this was from Grandma.
There's a game that no one ever talks about. No, one of the best games of all time.
One of the best games of all time.
Yeah.
This is Jenny's copy. Don't tell her that I have it.
Yeah.
Yep. So that's a great one. Another one that I remember Grandma got me. This was for Christmas. Well, again, she got it for Jenny, because Jenny owned the Game Boy. I did not. Kirby's Dream Land.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
White. It's got white Kirby on it, even.
White Kirby on it. White
pink
Kirby.
Yeah,
Ghost Kirby.
Original Kirby. Yeah, before the pink Kirby.
Yeah, I can remember. So when the N64 came out, we all got one controller. N64 came out in September. My birthday is October 2nd, and so for my birthday that year, Grandma got me 3 of these bad boys.
Wow. I mean, those were
3 N64 controllers.
Not cheap. I mean, what were they, like $50 probably at the time?
I don't think so. I think they were still cheap at the time. I think they were like $25 or $30, maybe.
I don't think they were that. I mean, you remember, they were selling N64 games for like $90 at the time. That was before they had actually come up with a specific amount for games. I mean,
yeah. I would like to know. I would like to remember exactly what it was, but remember NES controllers and Super Nintendo controllers were like $20, and so one more generation on, I think they were like $30 or something. Yeah, but she got me 3 of them, and so if I ever played a multiplayer N64 game with with friends. I have grandma to thank for that, for all those good memories. Another one that she got me in that same generation, Star Fox 64 with the Rumble Pack.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
I remember going over there for my birthday for the dinner and seeing that N64 shaped box that was way too big and knowing exactly what it was. Yep, of course, that was Star Fox 64 with the Rumble Pack in there. She started my love for Animal Crossing with Animal Crossing Wild World on the DS. I think this is the last video game that she got me. It was in the Wii generation. This old gem. Link's crossbow training with whatever we called this thing. The Zapper.
I think I have the disc of that game. I don't think you actually have the game. Didn't you like lend it to me and I kept it? I never gave it back.
What's in here? I got it.
Oh, it's in there?
I got it right here.
Oh, maybe there's two of them. I thought I had one. Oh,
I have 2 copies of that game for some reason.
There's other games throughout the years which came and went. Notably, Chippendale Rescue Rangers. I was really excited to get that one from Grandma. Yeah. So, I mean, there's others that I'm sure I have over on the shelf right there that I forgot that she was the one who gave it to me, or others that I've sold and all that. But, yeah, the point is, she knew what I loved and she was there to support it and support me. And she gave me so many other wonderful things over the years. Yeah. And I'm grateful. So thank you, Grandma.
Thank you, Grandma. I happened to find my my Funko Land. I have my Funko Land catalog right here, and on the subject of the question of controller prices, this is from 2000. This is Funko Land catalog from the year 2000, and it has 64 controllers going for $30 in this.
$30? Okay.
$29.99. So I was like,
I feel like they were like pricier than other places, though. You probably could go to like Walmart and get one cheaper than that.
I mean, I thought, once I felt like past the Super Nintendo, the controllers got more expensive for sure. Like, well, I remember definitely GameCube controllers, I think were pricier, but
Yeah.
but 64 prices just in general were just like out of this world. Like I remember like Babbage's in the mall selling Shadows of the Empire for $100.
Yeah.
Like when it released, just because there was really no set price on what things were. So it was kind of like wherever you were at, that's what they sold it for. So they were varying, different prices, and some games were selling for $80 even, like at the time. So, I feel like $20 because I remember buying like a knockoff 64 controller because I couldn't afford a Nintendo one. And if it was $20, I could have afforded it in high school. I didn't have to pay bills or whatever. But I bought like a,
Bad Cats 1 or something.
We called it, what would we call it? We called it a fun, what is it? Called it like Jumbalati or something like that. It was bigger than the other ones because it was a cheap one. But I couldn't afford the regular Nintendo controller, but I wanted 2 controllers, and I bought like one of the shitty knockoff ones.
Oh yeah. If you thought the regular N64 controllers were funky shaped, check out some of the knockoff N64 controllers. They got weird.
It was like the same thing. It was just like a lot thicker. Like it was like it was like we called it fatty Jumbalati is what we called it. But it was like bigger. It was bigger than the other controllers, but it had turbo on it and all that fun stuff. But yeah, it was and it was see through. I remember that. But I don't think it was Mad Cats. I think it was another thing. But yeah, I remember it being, I remember the controllers being pretty expensive at the time for me even, and I was buying like $60 games.
I think the Wavebird was $50 when it came out.
Yeah.
Sounds about right.
Possibly.
And that would have been like the
I
consider a modern controller.
Well, that was the price of GameCube games were $50 also at the time because they kind of established an actual price for games. So it was Wild West before that. And then after GameCube it was $60. And now, now in a new Wild West of video game prices, I guess, with the $80 Mario Kart and whatnot. But
I recall getting my GameCube controllers in I think, did I get a 3-pack or I think Toys R Us like bundled them together special or something that you could get 3.
I never saw that. If they did,
Yeah,
I mean, I would have went for it.
I know I bought all 3 of them at once, but I think maybe they just had like some kind of special deal if you bought. Maybe that was it. I think they just had a deal. If you bought all 3, you got some kind of deal. But I got that shortly after I got the actual system. I went back to that same Toys R Us and picked them all up.
But yeah, no, you got some real good stuff from Grandma. So thanks.
Definitely. Yeah, thank you, Grandma,
for all of that. But I mean, the Switch 2 is like a few days away. Like
just a few days away.
I mean, we haven't really talked about our plans. I guess. Well, I mean, John, I guess would have the most plans, right? I actually did get a call today from GameStop. They did actually call me for the GameStop from Green Bay, and the first thing I thought was, oh, they're calling me to tell me that my pre-order doesn't exist anymore, and
because a lot of people are getting
then I'm fucked or something, But no, they just wanted to call me to remind me to pick it up on Thursday. I called them yesterday on Monday because I've been working like crazy, but I had a later call yesterday, so I had some time in the daytime to try to do all my shit. But I called them and I was like, hey, are you doing? Because I looked online, because if you go to games.com, you can search by like zip code and see like which stores are doing midnight releases and all that. And the store that I was reserved at was not on that list. So I was like, oh shit. Because I remember they said they were going to do it, but they weren't sure when I got it. I was like, okay, well. So I called them and I was like, hey, are you doing the midnight release? And they're like, no. And I was like, okay, fuck. But they're like, but you can come and pick it up anytime after we open, and we open at 10. I was like, all right, well, because I thought they were going to open like noon, and that's later. But yeah, so they're not opening till 10. So I won't get to drive there the night of, but it's fine. I'm fine just going there in the morning. Like I thought about, I could try to find one the day before, but I just really don't want to do that. I don't want to drive all around town to that's more stressful to me than driving to Green Bay to one that's guaranteed to me. And even if I do find another one, my idiot self is going to want to go and get the other one too. So then I have 2 of them. So that's like, so then that's like 10 hours that I'm losing here. And I want to like get through all the editing stuff, so I have nothing else to do but play Switch 2 once I get it in my hands. So, I have other priorities, mostly this podcast, to get through before the Switch releases, and I don't want to fucking drive around all day looking to see if I could find one or not, even if they're selling them at 3 p.m. or whatever.
Yeah, because I found out
don't want to do that.
I found out today that this is going to be irrelevant information for anybody listening. Because you'll be in the future playing your Switch 2 already.
Well, history.
They're selling it at 3 p.m. and then so you can walk up to a GameStop on Wednesday at 3 p.m. and start buying your Switch 2. You can't pick it up yet, but I think that's a pretty smart way to do it.
Yeah, I wondered about that with them like doing this early party thing or whatever. Yeah, they should at least let you know like how many they have or how many extras they have or whatever.
Yeah, I think they could have been a little bit clearer about that in their announcement of the 3 p.m. Line start, whatever. That hey, the purpose is you're going to buy it at 3 p.m. so you can actually leave and come back later or whatever. That's actually a pretty good idea. That's how they should do every midnight release from now on. That's great.
But also, like, why 3 p.m.? Why not like 10 a.m. or 9 a.m. or whenever they open? Like, why specifically 3? Like that seems like such a random time. I mean, well, yeah, I get that you're not releasing it till midnight or midnight Eastern or whatever, but why sell it why not just sell it throughout the day or whatever? Or maybe they were trying to make the camping out like not as bad or whatever, but but I think it's still going to be bad. I think there's still going to be people camping and all that.
Well, yeah, so as far as my plan, my plan was to actually leave in an hour and a half and start camping. But I'm not going to be able to do that. Tomorrow's the funeral, so I'll be going to that, and I'm not going to be in any rush to leave that. So obviously, I think we're gonna commiserate after the funeral, and probably go to dinner or something like that. And I'm gonna take my time with it, and I'm just gonna trust that I'm gonna get one.
Well, there's always Costco. Don't forget.
There's always Costco,
because Costco was going to be you were going to do it in the morning of Thursday whenever it opens. So I mean, so that was always a backup plan. You can just do that, or
Target opens 2 hours earlier, at 8:00.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna assess the situation when I'm done with the funeral. I'm going to drive by and see, maybe there's not much of a line at Best Buy. It might be worth it for me to hang out there. In any case, if I don't get it at Best Buy, I could jump over to Target just down the street. But I did something this week, I guess, that I could talk about. I went and I prepared for my camp out. So I got a bunch of snacks and stuff. I bought a case full of Celsius. I have like 20 something of those.
Isn't that a lot of caffeine? That's what I hear.
These are the best energy. Okay, I'm going to pull a little plug here.
I mean, I've heard different things. I know Kevin Smith really likes them, but I've also heard the younger people saying that it's not a good thing to drink a lot of.
I would believe that it's not a good thing to drink a lot of because
I mean, 5 hour energy wasn't a good thing to drink a lot of either. Like people overdosed on that shit way back in the day. Like there were people that actually died from drinking too much of it. So,
I believe that. So one time in my life, I was pulling an all nighter, trying to do some writing, and I made the mistake of drinking 2 5-hour energies in a row, and I felt how dangerous it was. I had to just lay down. My heart was out of control. I had to just lay flat in bed and just calm myself down and all that. So I'll never do that again. I don't know. These drinks, they feel a little bit different. Like I think they say like the active ingredient or whatever is green tea and ginger and all that stuff. I don't know. I would say it feels different than drinking a 5-hour energy. Whereas 5-hour energy, I think I do feel like a little wired. This, I just feel like awake. If you drink one, like 10 minutes later, it's like, I don't know, you just had a nice nap or something. It feels better to me. So I got a case of these because, not all for myself, because I think part of being successful in a line is being kind to the other people in the line. And so I'm just going to hand some out. And that way, if I have to like go to the bathroom somewhere, the people are going to be cool and like hold my place or whatever.
It's like I gave you a Celsius. You got to hold my spot.
Exactly.
You owe me.
You got to have good line etiquette, and so that's part of my strategy. I bought a bunch of protein snacks, protein bars, beef sticks. I'm going to make some trail mix and just have it all ready to go. Because I was planning for 24 hours, but now looks like I'm going to probably be waiting. Probably 10 or 12 hours or something like that. So I'm ready.
Yeah, I mean, I would say do everything you got to do with your family and all that, and see how you feel then, and then maybe check out Costco and see if anybody's lined up there, and if nobody is, maybe hang there with your chair and all that stuff. Is what I would say.
How about you, Jeremy? What's the news with you? I think you got some kind of scary news in your email or something recently, didn't you?
So from the day that I ordered, my Target order has said the same thing, which says it's arriving on June 11th. I got on Reddit earlier today and found like a post about it, and literally everybody who ordered from Target says June 11th, I think.
What? Yeah, wasn't that like the? I feel like I saw that on the website, right? Weren't they like kind of saying that it could be as late as that, like at the time when we were trying to pre-order them?
I think so. I mean, honestly, it's all kind of a blur because it was kind of a frenzy, but that's what it says. I've got no sort of shipping confirmation from them or anything, and I feel like I should have by now if it was on its way. So I'm not planning on having it the day of. I mean, if I end up having it the day of, that's gonna be awesome, but it's not looking super promising. I will say though, my GameCube controller is set to get here on Thursday, and I actually have like a tracking number for that and everything. So.
Yeah, I checked my email like 10 times after you posted that on Slack, and I haven't gotten shit from Nintendo. Nintendo has not sent me anything about the GameCube controller, so
yeah, I didn't get that.
I was jealous that you got a shipping confirmation.
That's it, though. I mean, that's all I've heard.
Yeah, and as far as like Nintendo shipping stuff, I did actually text Shake yesterday just to see like if he had gotten anything from Nintendo yet, and he said no, he had got nothing on any sort of details on shipping or whatever. Because I was trying to figure out, I was hoping he would get one early so we could do some game chat streams or whatever. But I think he's still going to try to go out in the world and camp too and see what he can find, like try to get one on the day.
Yeah, he was saying he was trying to get another one for someone else if they need it, but
Yeah, I think he won. Yeah, I think he won for himself as well. But yeah, I mean, he got the Nintendo one. But I was curious if they had actually like let you know about a shipping date or whatever. And he said he still hasn't heard anything. So I don't know.
Jeremy, regarding the June 11th and everything, I would I wouldn't get my hopes up, but I also wouldn't necessarily be pessimistic about it. I think Target is just trying to manage expectations. My guess would be that just as there are Switch 2s in Target stores right now, there are also Switch 2s in local Target distribution centers where I would guess that your Switch 2 is in your local Target distribution center right now. They're just trying to say June 11th so that if it doesn't get there on the 5th, maybe it arrives on the 6th. You know what I mean?
well, classic consumer, under promise, over deliver. That's what
Exactly.
you
Sure.
do.
Yeah.
I don't know though, but I just want to be realistic about it and know that since the demand was so high, sure, I got my pre-order in on time and stuff, but it's kind of, who knows? It's kind of mind-boggling to think how many people are trying to get those day of.
Wouldn't that? I mean, it would be like an awful thing again if we did our Switch 2 episode and you only have it for 40 minutes, like the one we did, but like our Switch 1 episode that we did, which I reposted. I posted that on YouTube also, so if anybody wants to see it,
I just remember my
or listen to it. I
episode.
reposted our first or when we got Switches, and yeah, it was I think we had only had it for a minute or
my strongest memory was I just want to be done with the podcast so I can go play Zelda, because I had played 10 minutes of it or something.
Yeah, we had gotten ours. We had gotten ours at the midnight release, so I had some time. But I mean, I was just playing it on Wii U, but I got the game there and whatever. But yeah, if you want to listen to it and not dig through the archives or whatever, I put it up on our YouTube channel at youtube.com/NintenDomain Podcast.
Ouch.
So your GameStop opens at 11, Trey?
10.
10? So you're going to be leaving at 7 on the dot? Or what's your plan?
I was gonna try to leave a little bit early in case I need to stop and get use the restroom or whatever on the way there. I was gonna try to leave around 6 or something like that. I mean, we'll see, but
good idea. Yep.
We'll see how it goes. I mean, I'll try to me. I have a tendency to stay up later than usual, but I was gonna try. I was gonna try to I wanted to leave a little before 7. I wanted to be there when they open, and just be able to get in there and get my stuff and get the fuck out of there just so I can get back. And honestly, the real thing that's worrying me is just the transfer. You guys, neither of you have dealt with transfers yet because you only had one Switch, so you don't know about switching all your stuff and just all of the stress involved with that. Or the whole debacle of the Animal Crossing island and the app and all that, how you have to have the game on both systems. And I was just looking at it again, trying to remember how to do it because I forgot. But yeah, there's just the whole thing about transferring stuff is really what's worrying me more than anything else, because it's always a pain and it's always weird and there's always a whole lot of extra stuff to it, and so. I was I thought about because you can send your stuff to the cloud now before you even get a Switch, but that's not Animal Crossing. If you want to transfer your Animal Crossing stuff, you actually have to have both of your systems together, and they have to both have Animal Crossing games on them, and they have to both have the Animal Crossing transfer tool also on them in order for them to switch. There's all this extra shit to it, and yeah, certain things won't cloud save. It'll continue with your profile or whatever. There's all this different shit. So. I'm still thinking about that. But I did get that. I did cave, and I did buy a 500 gigabyte card from Walmart. I did do that Walmart thing. It just came today. It was next day shipping, no extra cost.
You got it for $65?
I got it for 70 total with tax. But yeah, it was 65 with tax, so it was 70. I think it was 72. But this was actually this is still less than half of the size of that on Amazon was going for the 200 gig one on Amazon was $75 without taxes, and the 1 terabyte was 200, but that one never became available. It's been unavailable since the Switch 2 Direct, And I was like, I thought about maybe getting that one, but it was never available anywhere.
Yeah.
So I was just like, well, this one's on sale, and it's cheaper than, cheaper than one that has half the space as that.
Yeah.
Fuck it, I might as well just get this, and I'll just ride on this for however long, and then maybe there'll be a 2 terabyte one that I can get in the future or something like that. So
I'm banking on the 1 terabytes are going to be going down by Christmas.
well, I
They're
mean,
about $200 right now.
well, it was 180 on Amazon was how much it was, but for the 1 terabyte. But I mean, it's still kind of a new card ish.
Yeah, this is the first consumer device I think that is actually using it. The first popular consumer device, and so I think that means by Christmas the demand is going to be huge for these things, and people are going to be in competition. And I don't know. I'm guessing around Christmas you probably get one for like 125 and or 150 maybe. That's what I'll bite on it. In the meantime,
yeah,
I was hot swapping.
Yeah, I was trying. Well, I mean, you can't hot swap because
or whatever
because you don't have any. Because you don't have any cards that work with it. None of the Switch 1 ones will work with it. It has to be the Express one. But I mean, yeah, it would be Reggie's term, the refrigerator where you clear things out or whatever.
Yep.
I was just trying to go through all the stuff that I want to get, and I could do most of it, but I just kind of like was starting to break under pressure, and I'm like, and I was waiting on set, like, and I saw you got that, and I was like, oh well, whatever, I'll just buy it now, and I just got it today. It came like so quickly. And
nice.
I left it upstairs, but it's just like in this white. It's just like all white, and it just says like works with Nintendo Switch. It's like the package of it is so ridiculous.
It's so boring.
Yeah, it's just like it's this giant white paper, and then just a little tiny card in the middle. But at least it says it's written on, and it says works with Nintendo Switch. Because I was like, what is this
Nintendo Switch 2? It says
Oh yeah, Switch 2. I was like, well, what is this ONN thing? I've never heard of it, but apparently it's like another version of Samsung or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah. It looks like they just got the deal to make these cards like last week.
Yeah, they just printed them out, and it's just like it's just like the text is just like, oh yeah, here you go. Works on Switch, and I'm like, all right, whatever. I got it. I got it in the mail. I can use it, and I'm just stressing about getting all the games on there and being able to play something. I mean, it might be a little bit better for me to go in the morning and try to do it because then I have the whole day to try to figure out all the transferring shit and all that instead of like going at like midnight and then getting back at 3 a.m. and then trying to figure it out, like before crash.
You'll be exhausted by then.
Yeah, because originally I was like, well, I just want to play like 1 second of Mario Kart World and then go to sleep, or whatever. But at least I have the whole day, and I was gonna try to get all my shit in order for the podcast so I can just just fuck around with whatever. Which lots of good things happening. Guardians of Ozma is getting some killer reviews out there. They're getting 9s all over the place. That was a game I was very excited about. That's a new Rune Factory game that's coming out on the release date of Switch. Well, it's coming out on Switch 1 and Switch 2. There's been no reviews yet on Switch 2 stuff, but people have actually been reviewing the Switch 1 version, and it's been doing really well. So people like it a lot. It's been, everybody has been talking very, very highly of it. And
You're talking about the Rune Factory game or the Fantasy Life game?
The Rune Factory game.
Oh, okay. Because the Fantasy Life game, people are going nuts over.
Well, people love that one too, but that one's already out. But the Rune Factory reviews just dropped yesterday, and they're very high. They've been like 8 and 9s all over the place. So I watched a few of them. I watched the Switch Up and the Nintendo Life one and the Nintendo World Report, and a lot of people are talking very high of it. So and it looks really cool. You can automate your farming. You'll love it, Jeremy. But they talked about that. Well, you can also get your villagers to farm for you as well. There's a lot of different things in there. Oh yeah, and you can ride the fucking luck dragon from Neverending Story. That's pretty rad as well. There's a giant fucking white dragon that you can ride from island to island. Oh yeah, and you can go through time zones and yeah. No, it looks really, really cool. Yeah, and no, I saw the Switch Up one. Showed scenes of Falcor and referenced Neverending Story and all that. It's 100%. I mean, it's a Japanese mythology, giant dragon and all that, but it totally looks like the luck dragon from Neverending Story. But yeah, no, the game looks awesome. I'm planning on getting it. It's it's $60 on Switch 1. It's $70 on Switch 2, but I'll just go for the Switch 2 version. It's coming out on the day. And the Fantasy Life, I thought about maybe getting that too. It has It has like it's like a $2.50 upgrade, like from the Switch version to the Switch 2, which is kind of hilarious for Fantasy Life I. So you can buy it for $60 on Switch, and then you pay like $2.50 to upgrade it to Switch 2.
It should be the case for every upgrade.
It's just funny. I mean, I think actually 8-4 Play was talking about this. I guess in some instances you have to have some sort of price tag for things, that it has to be charged something for one or the other. Because they did the Deltarune stuff, and if you buy Deltarune, you actually automatically get it for Switch 1 and 2. So you can buy it for Switch 1 and you'll have it to have it on 2. You know, kind of like what they do with like the PS4 and PS5 stuff. But
so you play it on either one?
You can, yeah. You get both versions of it. So
you probably have to, like, if you're playing it on one, probably the other version isn't available, and then you've got to
maybe
switch it back and forth. If you
want.
I mean,
they said you're getting both versions. Like,
that's cool.
So you buy one and it's automatically available. Well, I mean, you can, like, if you log into your account on your Switch 2 or whatever, and you bought it on Switch 1, and you go onto the eShop, you can just hit download, and it'll just go straight to your system without you being charged for anything, like that sort of thing. So,
I did buy one game this week. I forgot. I bought Welcome Tour. So,
how are you?
That game?
Didn't you buy Hitman too last week?
Did. Yeah, I bought Hitman last week.
So you're buying it on your phone, right? I mean, obviously you're not buying. You can't buy it on your Switch 1, and you don't have a Switch 2, so you can't buy it there either. So you're just buying it through the website or through your computer or whatever.
Bought it through my phone, and when you buy it now, there's a warning before you buy it. It says you have to click a box that says, "I understand I'm purchasing software for a system that I do not own."
Yeah, okay. Yeah, right. There has to be some sort of warning on there, being like, "Hey." Do you know that you don't own a Switch 2? Like, do you know that? Just trying to be like, hey,
We still don't know if your cloud save is going to transfer, right?
For what?
For Hitman, because I have all the cloud. Yeah,
I'm thinking no, because there's been no talk of like the only thing I've seen that's cross save is Cyberpunk. Right, as far as the release stuff, and Cyberpunk has mouse controls too, which I just found that out today. It's got mouse aiming, like for
that's cool.
Well, which I didn't know about. I watched a developer interview thing on IGN.
I was doing a presentation.
I'm so excited for that.
Yeah.
So they put out a big banner
that.
with their 3 games. One they have Mind's Eye, which is coming out for PS5, I think, like next week or something real soon.
Well, there's actually there's a PlayStation event tomorrow too. There's a state of play. Yeah, there's a state of play tomorrow that's happening.
Yeah, that game looks pretty cool.
As in the 4th.
That's a game that was developed by another developer. I'm forgetting their name, but IOI is branching out and I guess publishing their game now. And then the big news that was sort of carrying was the James Bond game. Actually, they're going to reveal the James Bond game, what was the title of that? I forget. It was called 007 something or other.
Bond goes somewhere
World of Assassination.
World of Assassination, yeah.
James Bond goes to Africa.
Right. No, I'm excited for that game because it has been 9 years since the release of Hitman, which means it's been 9 years since they've really had a brand new game come out. And
it wasn't 9 years since Hitman 3 though. Like you were playing Hitman 3 in 2020.
Yeah, true, but what?
And it was new then.
They are 3 chapters in the same large game. That was actually the way that the whole game was designed. And they ended up having to put out, number 1, number 2, number 3, just to. There was something about their publishing. Because the first one was published by Square, and then by the second one they went independent, and it was more of like on a technicality that this became number 1, 2, and 3. They were all intended to be episodes of the same humongous game, so I mean. Using the same mechanics and all that stuff since number 1. Practically speaking, it has been 9 years since they've had a new game, and I'm just excited to see where they've taken all their skills and all the cool stuff that they did with Hitman, and now that they're putting it into this AAA licensed game, like I think it's going to be amazing, and I think it's going to be actually the first proper Bond game in my estimation. Lots of Bond games were fun, yes, and great, but Bond was never really about like shooting, and
Some of them.
so many of those games were first person shooters, right?
Yeah.
And why does he shoot the screen in the credits at the beginning?
Right. Well, I mean, like I never really got this.
It's not.
The spy
He doesn't
from
shoot.
those games.
Well, he shoots it. I mean, that is from the Bond movies. They're targeting him through the scope of a gun, and he shoots the person who's trying to shoot them.
This is true.
Is what that is. That's from the movies, going all the way back to Dr. No when he was wearing a hat at the beginning, which we never saw that again.
So yes,
yeah,
that part of the shooting was accurate.
I mean,
yes,
but
yes.
even
So maybe they're bringing back hats.
in the Pierce Brosnan stuff, he shoots a lot of people. Like GoldenEye, there's a lot of let's
I'm not saying
let's blow the fuck out of people.
But a big part, like the plotting and all that stuff, it's a spy adventure movie. It's not like purely an action movie series, like say I don't know, Terminator or something like that.
To the GoldenEye credit, there is a lot of stealth stuff in it. Like where you would sneak around and silencers on your guns and whatnot, and sneaking through the bathroom and shooting people while they're on the pooper and all that. Like you could do that in the first level. They did that before Hitman ever did.
I'm just excited, like knowing Hitman, knowing that it's the best stealth game out there that certainly I have played. How does that evolve into James Bond? I think that's a perfect fit. It like fits like a glove. So when the game first got announced, I was like, they're the perfect team to reinvigorate James Bond in video games. So that's gonna be cool. I'm gonna be buying that for sure. I'm looking forward to the presentation. And then the other part of the presentation was they included on that banner Hitman World of Assassination again. And so I'm guessing and hoping and crossing all my fingers and toes that we're getting new maps for Hitman.
I mean, why not? Yeah, you're getting it re-released on Switch too.
Keep it going.
Give some. Yep. It would be cool if they added more stuff to it, like like other games are going. Like I said, like like Guardians of Ozma, like coming out on the 5th, or like Street Fighter 6 having like their final DLC character for Season 2 happening on the Switch day, and Yoko Shimomura is actually doing her song too, her theme, which is very, very good. I listened to that as well. So there's a lot of shit going, coming around the release date, and maybe it'll have something to do with the Switch release as well. On the subject of the James Bond Hitman game, I'm actually more interested in it than I was before, just because I'm a my mom was a huge Bond fan, so I was raised on Bond movies, like the Sean Connery ones and all that stuff, nice. and I like most of the Bond games, like I've enjoyed them, even though I talk shit on GoldenEye a lot, but I like some of the later ones, but no, I'd be more willing to try it as a Bond game than a Hitman game, because I have a little bit more connection to like James Bond than I do like Agent 47 or whatever, so.
Though I did hear you say in last week's episode that Hitman was on your list of games that you were interested in.
It was, yes.
Something.
It was on my top 10, but it was towards the end. It was I basically looked at like the 17 games or whatever that are coming out for Switch 2, and I made a top 10 list of ones that are like, I just rated them on how likely it would be for me to buy them. And yeah, of course, Hitman is in consideration for me to get or whatever, because you've played like 500 hours of it, or 600 or whatever, so it is in consideration,
There are RPG elements to that game.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I'm necessarily willing to pay $60 for it, but I mean,
sure.
We'll see.
You'll wish list it maybe and get it on sale at some point.
Yeah, I mean, I'm more like inclined to get the like native Switch 2 version than the cloud version, and hopefully maybe they can do some demos or something like that involved with it where I could try it out. Which I know the cloud version had it, but they never worked right. I tried to do the demos and they never worked for me. So that kind of made me not necessarily want to throw money on a game that isn't working already, So, but that's cloud games, it works differently. Like that was the same thing with like Resident Evil. Like sometimes it worked great and sometimes it didn't work at all. So I mean, it would depend on your signal or whatever. But yeah, no, I mean, I'm interested, and I'm really interested in the Bond one too, just because, like I said, I like those movies and whatnot. So, we'll see. I'll be interested in it. But yeah, there's a lot of shit. There's a lot of shit coming out for the Switch, for Switch 2, and I might be getting some games for it. So we'll see. I have to get the actual thing, and then we'll figure it out. And next week we'll talk about it. But is there anything else you want to say about your of the week stuff, John?
No.
Because I don't really have. I was gonna say I don't have a whole lot to say, but I could just kind of just drill through mine real quick. Since we're almost at the first half,
Sure.
Try to get to the first half here. I've just been. I've been. I work for 7 days straight, so have not had a whole lot of time. But when I was editing last week's podcast, I always try to have a game on to play while I'm editing. And I went back to Fast RMX just because I didn't remember much of it. I had to re-download it, but it was the first game that I bought for Switch 1. It was my number one Switch game. Because you can actually look, you can go back and see what the very first game was that you ever bought. And that was, it was Fast RMX, Snipper Clips, and Spectre Knight, which I think I probably bought all three of those like in one sitting, like one after another.
I don't remember Spectre Knight.
It was a version of Shovel Knight. It was like one of those, It was the first spin-off of Shovel Knight. It was really good, actually. I really enjoyed that one. But yeah, there was Spectre Knight, and there was like King Knight, or there was they did different ones that were all part.
Was that the Treasure Trove collection, or was it actually just Spectre Knight when you bought it?
It was just by itself. It was not part of a collection. It came out as its own game. It was one of the characters from Shovel Knight, but it was its whole other game. It was like before Plague Knight or the King Knight, or it was the first one that was not Shovel Knight that came out. Which came out like the release date of Switch 1. But yeah, Fast RMX was the first game I ever got, and I just was playing it again. And I played tried to play some of the Grand Prix stuff. I didn't really get into it, but the hero mode is really fun. Like that's my favorite thing that I've been doing so far on it. Hero mode kind of makes it more like F-Zero, where your boost and your shields are the same. So if you run out of your boost, and you hit a wall, you explode, and if you explode, you're dead. You have to start all over again. It won't like replant you or whatever, and you have to get to first place. And it's just like, you just do it like one race at a time, and you try to get through the whole thing and get first, and don't run out of all of your boost and your shield, or you'll explode. And that's been a lot more fun to me than the Grand Prix. But it still looks fucking great for a Switch, for a day one Switch game. It still looks awesome, and it still runs really smoothly. And I'm really excited about Fast Fusion. And I was going to try to... I'm planning on getting that one anyway, because it's $15. It's cheap. And they said that they were going to add like 120 FPS or whatever on there on release. And I was like, I should just make that my number one purchase again, since the other one was my number one purchase for Switch 1. So I was going to try to do that.
Have you listened to the newest episode of 8-4 Play?
Of course. Did you listen to the one with... the one with...
Digital Foundry.
Digital Foundry. Yeah, it was really good. I liked it a lot.
It was really good. And that person, I can't remember what his name is, but he said...
Oh, were you talking about the 8K version of The Tourist on PS5? Did you?
Yeah, that too. But he was saying like the best looking game at launch is probably going to be this RMX game.
Oh, yeah, because Shin'en, they're really good at it. The developers or whatnot are very good at the... Are very good.
Tech.
Apparently, they've known about the tech for a while, so... Yeah, and
I can see myself getting this.
And Fast RMX still looks really good. It still looks great, and it does. It feels like a F-Zero game, and there are a couple levels that are completely taken from F-Zero GX that are in there. So if you're familiar with,
I heard you say that last week.
Yeah.
So when you say taken, do you mean like?
It's
textures
the same,
and everything looks the same, or is it just like the layout?
Well, no,
obviously,
not.
Is it changed enough that Nintendo lawyers wouldn't be knocking at the door?
It kind of blew my mind when I was playing it. I was like, hold on a second. I've played this level before. And yeah, it's the exact same level. But yeah, I think that, but the background was different and the textures are different, of course, because, it was taken from a different game. But it is exactly the same. I was like, this is the exact same level. It was blowing my mind. I was like, wait a second, I've played this before. And then I looked it up online and other people had said like, oh no, that's the same level. And I was like, how do they, I guess they just didn't care. Because maybe nobody gives a shit about F-Zero anymore. But it's like, it's like, did you ever play Mole Kart on your phone? They got shut down, but there was an iPhone game called Mole Kart, and it was basically, it was Mario Kart. They stole like every level from like Mario Kart 64, but they stuck moles and carts, and it only lasts for a little bit because you couldn't buy it anymore. But it was like that, but not as extreme, like where they just took like one level. instead of like all the levels. But I was like, this is
I
a
imagine they
fucking
got
F-Zero
permission
game.
for it.
Yeah, I mean, well, they have one of the voice actors on the new one, like from GX. So, I mean, I don't know. I feel like they just don't care. Like, it's like, yeah, sure, if you wanted to use and they've been like on every Nintendo system since Wii, doing like these racing exclusive games. Like, they obviously are friends with Nintendo, and they probably knew about Switch 2 like at the very beginning. So, I don't think they care. It's like, yeah, sure, if you want to throw an F-Zero level in there, go for it. Why not? So. But yeah, no, RMX is still cool, and I'm very excited about Fast Fusion. And maybe because of our top 10 video game, our top 10 Switch 1 games of all time, I was playing F-Zero 99 again, and man, that game is fucking stellar. That's a wonderful game.
Really is.
I was playing because they have all these new Grand Prix out. They got the Mirror ones, the Ace ones, and all the different ones. And I was on King League, and I got all the way, or on the King League Grand Prix. And I got like 5th place on the very first race, and I was like, holy shit, like I haven't done this well. And then I got like whatever, like 20s or teens or whatever. And then on the last race, I got 5th again, and I was like, what? This is awesome. Well, if you make it all the way through the Grand Prix, there's only like 20 people at the very end, because you have to be in a certain like place to make it each time, because they'll cut you off. And Grand Prix, yeah, if you can't get into like 20th place, you won't make it. And I think that was the one I like just barely skidded across the finish line, like in 20th place, like because the ship like follows you and it'll pull you off the racetrack if you're not quick enough. And I barely, I thought I thought I like got it, that I didn't make it, and I somehow skidded across, and I did okay. And that was on Firefield, which is like the last race of the Super Nintendo one before like the Satellaview stuff and all that. So I was pretty proud of myself for doing that. I was like, no, I'm all right at this. I mean, it goes like back and forth, where it's like, oh yeah, I'm like in like 5th place for most of the race, and then you're doing another one. Like I was playing the other night, and I couldn't get like above 30. Like I could not make it like above 30th place. Like I guess it varies, but yeah, that game is still incredible. Like I loved how they took like one of my favorite games of all time and just added all of the stuff from all the new F-Zero games and just made it that much greater, and made it free and 100 people, and they're still adding shit to it. There's still there's like a big event coming up like this weekend, and like go to coincide with the Switch 2 event and all that. So with the Switch 2 releasing, so F-Zero 99 still fucking kicking it, still out there.
I wonder if they're gonna add stuff that's going to be exclusive to Switch 2 that would entice. Obviously, you'd be able to play against people playing the Switch 1. So, would there be, say, a card that's only available for Switch 2 owners, and so things to entice Switch 1 owners to jump on board? I mean, if I were Nintendo,
I mean, we'll see.
I might do something like that. You know what I mean? To try and encourage people.
They did. I mean, they did put new cars in there when they added the Satellaview stuff, but you had to do really well. You had to win a certain amount of races, and I was unable to unlock them, unfortunately. But they did put the different car designs that were in that version, which I see people racing with, and I'm very envious of them for having them. I was like, damn it, I couldn't do well enough to get those, but I wish I would have. So I want to see them out there.
I want to say, hearing about the whatever it's called, whatever the elimination mode is called in the new Mario Kart.
Knockout. It's called
it sounds
Knockout,
like
right?
F-Zero 99.
It is F-Zero 99, 100%. Yeah. I'm really excited about trying that out. Of course, I mean today, I'm sure you saw like a bunch of people have been putting out their impressions. Maybe that's why you got Welcome Tour, John, because Logan Plant like talked pretty highly of it, and I saw like people. Yeah, I guess there was an event where a lot of people got to go play Mario Kart World and Welcome Tour and all that stuff, which I feel a little bit more positive on Welcome Tour than I did last week, but I still don't know if I'll actually buy it. But we'll see. Like I said, there's a lot of stuff coming out. We'll see how much time we have for things. But
I just got it because that's the Wii Sports, that's the Nintendo Land.
Sure.
I want that game.
Except those games are multiplayer, and this game is not multiplayer.
Yeah. Right.
It's
at least not that we know of.
Yeah. I mean,
it still should be free.
Sure. Yeah. And I'm still trying to make my way through Onimusha 2. I got to this boss. It's like this demon lady. She wants nothing more than the admiration of Nobunaga. And I didn't realize it, but I had run out of healing items, so I have like no healing items whatsoever. And it's like, it's like a Resident Evil game where if you're not paying attention, you can accidentally save yourself into a corner, and I think I might have done that with this game. So we'll see how much patience I have to try to get through this lady. But I only have a couple items that can fully reheal my magic, and you can do big magic attacks. And I just found out that you can do, like, once you reheal your magic, it'll actually work for all of your weapons, so you can do it like up to 6 or 7 times, like if you keep switching weapons. So it's just basically like I've gotten my health as high as it can get. I've maxed it, and then I just have to go through and just try not to get hit and get enough hits in to beat her. But I haven't gotten there yet, and we'll see. We'll see how far I can get.
Sounds tough.
But yeah, I sort of saved myself into a corner there. So, but I still really like the game a lot, and I think it looks great on the remaster. And yeah, that's that. And also, I was just trying to figure out my TV specs, and if it can actually do. I mean, it's a 4K TV, but there's all different types of 4K TVs.
Stuff, yeah.
I watched Nintendo Life did like a video just breaking down like the different things you need to do like 4K and different like refresh rates and all that. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, wow, this shit is like a whole nother language to me. Like, I don't know any of this stuff.
Yeah, I don't understand that either.
And
as a Nintendo fan, it's kind of refreshing to be at a point where we have to know all the tech, latest tech stuff.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's because I'm like, well, because it's like, well, you need HDMI 2.0 to even do 4K to begin with, and I was like, is my TV even a 4K TV? Like, I thought it was, but I don't know, like, and I go in the, I still have the box. I'm looking at the box in my garage, and I'm like, well, it says 4K, and then I'm like I looked at the model and like looked up the model, and it's like it's HDMI 2.0, but it's not 2.1. And 2.1 is like 127 hertz or whatever. Like, I can't do that apparently because it's an older version. So I don't know.
TV is a plasma TV from 2011.
But I don't know if you can even. But I don't know if you can even do 127 hertz refresh rate on Switch 2. So I don't think it even really matters. But I don't know. It's a question. Look at your model number on your TV, Jeremy, and see what you can actually do with it. That's kind of
I don't know. It looks good on the PS5. So
yeah, but you might not actually be doing like whatever. The full capacity of probably not of your full capacity what your PS5 can do or whatever.
Probably not.
But I want it to be at least, because they're saying all like, oh, you need this specific HDMI cable for the Switch 2. It's like, okay, all right. Well, I'm not gonna buy like 10 more HDMI cables. I would have like fucking 30 of them. So I mean, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, my random bag of cords has started including. I found HDMI cables in there, so I'm like, I got enough HDMI cables, so that's for sure.
Wait, does it not come with the HDMI cable?
No, it does. It does, but it says that the one that comes with the Switch 2 is the specific 4K one. So they're trying to tell you that the HDMI cable that you use for your Switch 1 will not work with your Switch 2, which I think is a bag of bullshit. But
I'm sure it works.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean that there's just all this technicality to it because this one is like because supposedly it's like a 2.1 HDMI or whatever. But I'm not going to go and buy like six other HDMI cables for whatever. I mean, I'm just trying to break down and see like, what my TV is actually doing. I mean, it really doesn't matter to me at all, but I want it to at least be like 4K or whatnot, which I probably won't even play it on 4K. I'll play like fucking 60 FPS or 120 and 1080 because I'd rather have more frames than higher resolution. I'd rather it be smoother. So whatever. Yeah.
So you're going to put your Switch 2 up at your big TV? On the main floor or downstairs with your other two TVs that you got there?
My Switch 2 will be a traveling machine, just like all the other ones are. I mean, I figured. Well, they say that like the AC plug has to be different, Even though I debate that one with them as well. I mean, I don't think you can use the Switch 1 with it, but I think you could get other ones that would work just as well that are probably cheaper. But I mean, I thought maybe I'd get it. I mean, it's going to move around. It's going to have to because I use all of the TVs in the house. So I mean, primarily I would use it upstairs to start with, but I got to stream with it downstairs, and I want to have it on my double TV thing so I can watch wrestling while I'm playing games or whatever. So it'll be all over the place. So we'll be testing it out, and I can't get 2 docks yet, because you can only get it from Nintendo. So. Yeah. We'll see when. I think that it'll be available like when it launches or something, but I don't know. It's a process, We're trying to figure it out here, So
yeah, I remember I got my second dock like probably like a good year into the life of the Switch, and it went on sale on some website for like $40 or whatever. I don't know. I just got a good deal on it, and that's why I bought it. But yeah, that's probably how I'll get mine.
I think I got mine for like 60 or 70, but I thought it was a good deal at the time. And I got it pretty early. Yeah, it was in the first year as well. So, and then I got another, and I think I got another one for probably around that for like 40 or 50, like later. But yeah, no, I mean, I'd like to eventually acquire 3 of them for all my different things, but I'm not. But I'm just saying, I'm not going to buy more HDMI cables. Like, I don't really care. Like I have my HDMI split, and I use like the split. Like, I mean, the splitter that I use on my TV. I think you have one too, Jeremy. It's like, does that even do like the full 2.0 or whatever HDMI? Like, I don't even know.
I don't either.
So, the questions that we have about the Switch 2, here they are. But yeah, that's all I've been doing.
Well, I wanted to try out Survival Kids a little bit, just because it kind of seemed like my kind of game. It came to the
Game Boy Color. Yeah.
Yeah, and I kind of like it. It's kind of cool, especially with save states.
I heard people like the Game Boy Color one. Like, it actually has like a bit of a cult following and all that behind it.
It's got a very like proto Minecraft feel to it, which I don't know if Minecraft was inspired by Survival Kids at all. I wouldn't be surprised to find out that it was, but
maybe a little bit.
Yeah, the eating and the drinking and all that, like all those different meters, are very, very much like in line with more modern survival games. So yeah, you get a canteen, you got to make sure you keep it full of water, and you're drinking water, and you can get poisoned if you eat the wrong stuff, and you can craft, and you have to cook your food before you eat it, or you'll get sick, and you need to sleep, and there's a day night cycle. So I don't know, all that stuff's pretty cool. And you kill animals, and then you get the raw meat, and you have to cook it. It's very, like I said, it's very proto Minecraft. So I didn't play a lot of it, but
yeah, on Game Boy Color too. Like, I hadn't even heard of this type of gameplay like on Game Boy. Like, that seems way in advance.
It seems like a really good game to have on that sort of a have it on a portable system. So it's cool. It's nothing like mind-blowingly great, but I think it's kind of cool. And I tried the Gradius game too, and that's really fun.
Oh yeah,
it's really, really nice.
Yeah, I didn't play any of the new stuff on there. Yeah, I had Nemesis on Game Boy. It was like one of the first Game Boy games I got. It was like Gradius with a different name, but it's the same. It's the same but different. I think it's on that Gradius collection that's coming out or whatever. But
the Gradius game's a lot of fun with the save states and the rewind, because it's one of those games where you like save up your power ups, and then you activate them when they're at the level you want them to be. So I got like these crazy lasers, and I just keep rewinding and save stating so that I'm like in like the third set of stages, and I just have a maxed out gun, and it's so fun. Stuff's just bouncing everywhere and obliterating the entire screen of enemies. But it runs really nice, like for being a Game Boy game. I guess it was a Game Boy Color game, maybe. I don't know. It looks nice. But the other thing I played this week was the same as always.
I thought it was I thought it was straight up Game Boy, but I mean, I don't know. The Gradius game.
But I played a lot more Blueprints this week just because that's my game. And
is it fixed?
It's fixed. Yeah, I'm over 200 days into it, and I've got four of the 8 secret doors unlocked, and I found a bunch of new spaces this week, and managed to like do a complete map of the place, which I had never managed to do before. And I solved this puzzle that I've been putting off for a long time, where you have to like deduce a letter in each of the rooms, and then it makes out a sentence for the whole map. So I finally solved that puzzle, and that was pretty cool. But yeah, the game just keeps on giving. It's still
I never heard that they put out a patch for it.
So well, they didn't say that they did, but something happened with it. I was talking about it last week. John, you weren't here, but what happened was I walked into a room where I every time I'd go into this room, I'd put in this combination into the safe, and it was the same combination every time. And that's how I got some of my items. And one day, last week I booted it up and was playing, and I walked in that room, and the safe was already open. That's the first time I'd ever seen that, and I'm like, okay, something's different here. But as far as I know, that's the only thing I saw that told me that maybe things were fixed. And so I've been keeping the hope alive, and I keep playing it. And yeah, I'm further than I've ever been in it, and it seems like it's saving in a good way. So let's hope it doesn't refresh or rewind or whatever like it did on me before. But it's been doing its job keeping me occupied before the Switch 2 comes out. But the other thing I played this week, and it's at the top of the show, is this Super Mario Galaxy 3. Astro Bot was on sale, so I got that
Oh,
finally.
nice.
Oh,
I've been waiting to get that.
what was it? What was it going for? Like $30?
I think it was 40.
Oh, okay.
And I tell you what, it feels like Mario Galaxy 3. Like if Nintendo, if it was Mario instead of this robot, it would be Mario Galaxy 3. But um, it's just what it feels like, and it feels great. That's a compliment. It's probably the most polished game I've ever played that wasn't a first party Nintendo game. Everything about it's just so well done, and the physics and the graphics and the lighting and the different enemy types, and they keep the gameplay like, they punch it up like they do in Mario Galaxy, where you'll get like something new to try like in each level that'll make it novel, and each of the stages are different enough looking from the others that they feel like pretty unique experiences on their own, just going back to a stage. And instead of collecting like stars like you would in Galaxy or Lumas or whatever it was, in this you're collecting all the robots that went missing, because it's got a very thin plot. Once again, very Mario, where you're just flying a ship and you've got all your little robot buddies in it, and then this really like 1950s looking alien in a flying saucer like comes up and steals a part out of your ship, which actually is like a flying PS5.
Yeah, I was gonna say, isn't it a PS5? And
Yeah.
the robots you catch are all like PlayStation references, right? You're collecting.
I'd
like,
say 1 out of 5 are.
like you see like Abe Escape, and like there's even Yakuza stuff in there, and like I
Yes.
heard there's all sorts of different things, different
Metal Gear
references.
Solid, Last of Us. Yeah, it's all in there, and some limited capacity, like at least for the character designs. Like I've gotten the Aiko and the princess, and I just got the prince from Katamari Damacy earlier today. Yeah, they're all in there, but so I'm in the fourth set of stages on the boss, and it shows 5 sets of stages, so I might be already pretty far into it. But it works like Mario Galaxy, where you have to, like, you can't unlock a new stage until you have a certain amount of robots saved, so you'll have to go back, and even if you like rush through a stage, you'll have to go back and try to collect stuff there. And then you collect these puzzle pieces that unlock new features within like your hub area, like that allow you to like customize your character with a costume, or because right now I look like Crash Bandicoot, or not Crash Bandicoot, the Jack and Dexter, one of those guys. I can't remember. I look like one of them right now.
It's either
and,
Jack or Dexter. It's just one of the others.
it's the human one.
Jack.
I think
I
so.
think it's Jack.
Yeah.
I don't know. All I know is it's fun, and you can like change the color of your ship, which is a PlayStation 5 controller. And there's a lot of cool power ups, very Mario style. Like you get like little robots that join you, and then they give you like the ability to like dash, or like there's straight up like a one where you like float and you make a floating platform like you do in Galaxy 2 with the cloud suit. And it's a lot of that, but it's so fun. And like after you beat a level, you can pay 200 coins to get this little bird that follows you around and will sort of like act like a little radar machine to tell you if you're near a secret. And so that helps you like hoover up all the stuff you missed. And it's optional. You don't have to do it that way, but I've been doing it that way because once you pay the 200 coins to unlock it on that stage, you can always use it on that stage if you want. So it's kind of in assist mode, but not really. It's just like a little radar blip thing that helps. But man, this game's fun. I have a hard time putting it down because I'm just having such a good time with it, and it's so pretty. Like
Looks so
you were saying,
lively.
Is it placed? Yeah, it's just a joyful game. Like I love it. It feels so nice to play it because it's just such a happy game. There's really not, there's difficulty in it, and it's the same kind of difficulty like you would have in a good platformer where you're bashing your head against the wall because some of this platforming is really tough. But once you win, you feel great. And so you just keep playing over and over again until you get better at it. And I've gotten to where I don't know, I feel like I've gotten fairly decent at it. All the bosses are really cool. They all kind of work differently. Right now I'm fighting this giant chameleon, and he's a pain in the ass, but I've got like like my special power for that boss is that I can like slow down time and like run up his tongue and punch him in the uvula. It's really funny. the kind of stuff you can do in this game. It's just so polished, so nice. Um, yeah, I don't know. Hopefully, both of you will get to play it at some point. I guess probably more likely Trey than you, John. But it's just like it's the Mario game. You know, like let's say Sony always wanted to have a mascot like Mario. I think Astro is totally there. It's got to be their mascot now.
It's a long time coming. I mean, 30,
Astro is
30 years
it's just
without a
so.
mascot.
It's better.
And the other thing that's
much
really
better
cool
than,
about
than
it,
Crash Bandicoot or Jack
Right.
and Dexter.
Yeah.
Any of those people.
think about like the movie,
Or Spyro. I guess.
the Cars movie. If you've ever watched Cars,
Yeah.
like one thing I really liked about that movie when I went and saw it was like even the little like bugs buzzing around and stuff are little tiny cars. It's like that in this with everything's a robot, including like just the little bugs that are running around, butterflies and lizards, and
theming's on
turtles.
point.
Everything's a little robot. Even like the trees and stuff, like you could see little like mechanical spots on them if you look at them close enough. Like every form of life is robotic, and I think that's really cool. It just kind of the theming's on point, like you said, John. And everything's really expressive. The way the eyes work. And just even all the like little NPC characters are just so expressive in their facial movements, and then all the like little Easter eggs for the different characters, like the special ones you unlock, like they'll hang out in your hub world, and they'll like like Lami's there playing a guitar, and Parappa's got a little turntable, and he's rapping like when you walk by him, and doing like backflips and stuff, and Ellie from Last of Us is just kind of like cowering in the corner crying, and then there's like the zombie with the zombie with the mushrooms coming out of its head is like terrorizing her. I don't know. It's a lot of really cool detail, and it's staggering to think of the amount of unique animations that are in this for each of those things, and then how they factor into like your traversal of the hub world. Like you'll like kind of Pikmin style, like it'll be like you need 80 robots to come over here, and you'll summon them, and they'll run over, and they'll like make like a giant chain that you walk across like a bridge, or they'll like turn into ropes and you're swinging from rope to rope that's made out of them like hanging onto each other, or they'll like just make a big tall stack and you'll run up them like the walls in Mario Worlds with the little pink you know what I'm talking about, where you like run straight up the wall with the little pink ramp thingies. That's totally in here too.
Oh yeah,
it feels very Mario through and through. It feels like a Mario game. I mean, I can't say enough how this could be Galaxy 3, I think. And I don't think Nintendo should bother even trying to make Galaxy 3. That's how I feel.
Because it's already been made?
It's that good. It's that good. It's really good. It's a good game, and I think it deserved to win. I think it won Game of the Year at Game Awards, which was kind of surprising. And
yeah, it's a big winner.
Having played it, I understand why. It's really good.
I'm going to pick it up when I get a PS5.
Oh, it's so good. It's probably my favorite PS5
It'll probably be like $10
Easily.
by the time you get one.
I don't count Elden Ring because Elden Ring was a PS4 game and I upgraded. But as far as like a pure PS5 game, this is absolutely my favorite one that I've played on the system.
Nice.
Cool. Well,
that's pretty much it, though.
All right. Yeah. Well, let's take a break and then we'll come back and talk about our
Alrighty.
final top 10 Switch 1 games and beat 'em ups and maybe a little news as well. So
sounds good.
Stay tuned. Come back. Don't leave.
Hey, you.
It's me, Mario.
Yeah, you. Subscribe to our Patreon to hear our bonus shows, which happen every month.
I'm tired.
Tired of all the big corporate podcasts spoon-feeding you the same old video game news on every single show?
Ah, spaghetti. Ah, ravioli.
Then expand!
With Nintendo Main Expansion Pack.
It's us talking about old games that were important to us. It's us interviewing people that we meet at conventions. And heck, it's live shows from those same conventions. It's basically everything you could want that Nintendo Main ever made.
Here we go! And it's just $1 a month.
That's less than a bad indie on the eShop.
It's $12 a year, which is less than Nintendo Switch Online.
Thank you so much for subscribing to our Patreon and supporting Nintendo Domain.
Just go to patreon.com/Nintendo Main Podcast and, hey, Mario, let go. Whoa! He's throwing us back to the show.
So long, Bowser.
Patreon.com/Nintendo Main Podcast.
Game over.
Whatever. I thought I should update just because I was checking my email during the break, and my Target order now says it's arriving Friday, June 6th through the 11th. So it's expected sometime between that. So it may get it as early as Friday now.
Okay. Well, I guess
I think that's probably what they all say. Every one of them. You know.
I guess we're back on the show then, because I'd want to include that on the episode. Also, update on the Gradius that you were talking about, Gradius, how you want to say it. It's actually a sequel to the one that I played. It's technically Nemesis 2. It's the Japanese name. But yeah, it was a Game Boy original game, came out in 92 in North America. And yeah, I should play it because I really like the Nemesis. And I didn't try any of the new stuff out yet, but I will whenever I edit this podcast. But yeah, we're back from the break. Let's talk about, just do our Switch 1 memories here. We should probably start with John. Do you want to do your top 5 best whatever genre?
Yeah. So my genre, because we've been doing this all picking our one of our favorite genres and doing the top games, is the beat 'em ups. So I've been saying for a long time, said it time and time again on the show, Switch is the best beat 'em up system of all time. And beat 'em ups, that is one of my core genres. Going back to
it's in your name.
Being a kid.
Genre.
That's right.
Yeah, if you spell it differently.
And I mean, like back on the NES, my favorite games were like the Ninja Turtles games and Double Dragon and all those. I just loved picking up a controller, having a friend play with you and just mash buttons and beat up as many people as you can. And that was just always one of my favorites. So to see, and those went away for a long time. They really did, until pretty much the Switch came back around and repopularized them. And I think also coinciding with that, games got cheaper. You get games for $15 starting with this generation and maybe a generation or two before. So it was just like all the perfect mix for the beat 'em up to come back again in the Switch generation. And in my estimation, these are some of the best. So I have to say number 6. I'm going to say 6. I think Jeremy did 10 last week.
I did do 10.
Yeah, well, 10. We did 2 5s with Shake, so for fighting games. And we did kind of allude to the beat 'em ups because the thing Shake did bring Turtles in there, as I mentioned, because beat 'em ups and fighting games could be
Shredder's Revenge. Yeah.
Could be kind of brought together, I guess, in a way.
So I had to include Double Dragon and Kunio-kun Retro Brawler Bundle. That's my number 6 because I thought that was a really That's a great collection. You know, if you like the River City Ransom / Kunio Kun games, there's a whole bunch of them here. Uh, you know that including all the different NES games in here. You know, the NES, as I mentioned, that's where my love for beat 'em up started. Um, and there's a couple of them in here that I played as a kid, and they're just as good right now. I like seeing them all put together in a nice package. I thought they did a good job. And yeah, I don't know. I had a good stretch of like probably 2 or 3 weeks where this was the main game that I played, and I think I have about 15, 20 hours or so in this collection. Yeah, they even got Renegade in here, which I remember getting Renegade as a kid at the video store when they were selling some of their old NES games. That was one of the ones that I picked up. Yeah, I like that game a lot. Man, so yeah, Double Dragon Kunio Kun Retro Brawler Bundle. That's number 6. Great game, great series, all represented well here. Capcom Beat 'em Up Bundle, which I think was one of the ones that we all really got into. I can remember playing.
Yeah, we did play it all
yeah.
all online together. Not to interrupt you, but I did just get my shipping info from Nintendo about the GameCube controller.
Oh, nice.
So it's coming. Doesn't say when, but I got a tracking number and all that. So they must have just shipped it.
Sweet. Capcom Beat 'em Up Bundle. I remember I have good memories of playing that robot game. What was the robot game called? I forget. That game was awesome.
I don't. Yeah, I really don't remember. I mean, the main thing. Yeah, it was like it had Final. I know Final Fight was on there.
Yep,
that was a big one. Oh yeah, Captain Commando, right, was on there too.
Captain Commando was on there.
Yeah, that was a fun one.
Yeah, there was the like King Arthur type one. There was another one that was, I think, set in feudal Japan, where like samurais or something.
So the list is Final Fight, Captain Commando, King of Dragons, Knights of the Round, Warriors of Fate, Armored Warriors, and Battle Circuit.
Armored Warriors is the one that we loved.
Yeah, the Armored
cool.
Warriors is the robot one.
We played through that one from beginning to end. Yeah, we beat that game.
Yeah, I thought we played a good amount of them when they came out. Yeah, Knights of the Round obviously is like the Camelot shit.
Also a spell in Final Fantasy VII.
Which references Camelot shit. I mean, once you get that thing, it's kind of like the win button. I played Final Fantasy VII enough to get that, and it was worth it. It was worth getting it, for all the extra shit you had to do. Where you had to go. Isn't there like an underwater thing you have to do? There's a bunch of dumb shit you got to do to get it. The Knights of the Round in Final Fantasy VII.
We all had a really fun weekend with the next one, and maybe a little bit beyond that too. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. Remember when the whole world was playing Shredder's Revenge for that one weekend?
That game was so good.
That was so fun.
That was on my I don't know if it was 1 or 2 on my list of favorite games that year.
What's your number here? Are you at 3 or 4?
I'm at number 4.
Oh, okay. Oh, a lot lower than I thought it would be to Shredder's Revenge for you.
It just speaks to the quality of beat 'em ups on the Switch. It's a fantastic game, and man, as I was saying, the Ninja Turtles beat 'em ups on NES, those were among my favorites. Like right up there with Mario and all that. I liked their number 2, the arcade game, and then Manhattan Project. I just love those games, and so to see them represented and recreated and updated with Shredder's Revenge, and not only that, but to have like the full presentation of the cartoon show, including with the voice actors and everything. I couldn't have asked for a better.
They re-recorded the vocals of the cartoon theme song with the guy from Faith No More, Mike Patton.
Yeah, he was on.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, no, he was on there for the intro. I mean, well, the whole soundtrack was really good. They had a bunch of different artists on there for the.
Yeah.
I remember. I mean, I bought that one digitally, the soundtrack for Shredder's Revenge, and it was real good.
After that, and I should mention there was a DLC update too, which was pretty good too. I forget what they called that, but yeah, I enjoyed the it was like a what do you call it? What's the buzz? What's Jeremy's favorite genre?
Roguelike.
Roguelike. Yep, it was a roguelike one. Yep.
I mean, there was like some extra arcade modes and stuff like that, but there have been Turtles roguelikes that are separate from this game. also as different games.
Sure. Number 3, also by this same company, Streets of Rage 4.
Yeah, there you
What
go.
a phenomenal game.
I'm glad you put it above Shredder's Revenge. I mean, Shredder's
Yeah.
Revenge is good, but I think Streets of Rage is better. Just
I think, the mechanics of it.
The fighting
there's a little bit more
mechanics
you
are
can do
better.
with it.
You can do more. Yeah, you can do more blocking and countering and stuff like that, which you can't do as much with the Turtles one. But I was really impressed with Streets of Rage 4. I thought that game was
Yeah.
baller.
That's like a blueprint for how to do a revival of an old series. Just, yeah. I don't know. They brought in a cool new art style. I think everybody agreed it looks cool. I thought it looked like a Saturday morning cartoon, but like a little bit edgier, a little bit dirtier. I liked, it's just a cool style.
Like a Saturday afternoon cartoon.
Like a Saturday afternoon. Yeah. Some of the kids have gone off to the playground and get a little bit more bloody and it was just like a cool freewheeling, like good time, pick up weapons and have fun with all different kinds of martial art. I felt like the martial arts were pretty fluid. Like you could toss the guys around and I don't know, it just like felt like it was just a cool game.
It was Dimension Shell Shock was the DLC, by the way, for Shredder's
DLC,
Revenge, and it was like a survival game and additional characters is what it was.
Yeah, you got Usagi Yojimbo and I forget who else.
Shredder's daughter. She's a very important
her.
character. I mean, she wasn't in the original, not so great cartoon, but she was in the much better 2012 one. Or no, Karai. That's her name. Yeah, Karai.
Shredder's daughter?
Yeah, that's Shredder. Well, I mean, I think she's actually Splinter's daughter, but she was raised by Shredder because he, stole her from Splinter. But yeah, no, there's a whole story about it in the comics and in the, like I said, the far superior Turtles show from 2012. Watch that one. It's on Hulu and all sorts of things.
I should say too on Streets of Rage 4. I like that game so much. I beat it several times. Like I played it all the way through and started right up again and kept on playing. It's just I don't know. It's a fun game. I kind of struggled with where should I put it in relation to some of these others here. I thought it deserved to be pretty high on the list.
Streets of Rage,
right there. Yep.
I had a lot of fun unlocking the extra characters of Streets of Rage too, because you can get the original characters and they look exactly the same as they did on Genesis. So you can unlock like Streets of Rage 1 and they still have the same moves that they did, but the less moves you have, the higher your attacks are. So you can actually blow through it pretty easily with the earlier characters. So I was having a lot of fun playing like earlier versions of Axel and all that on there. And any game that like gives me a lot of unlockables like that, like there's a lot of, gives a lot more depth to it. So I played through it multiple times to get all the extra characters and whatnot. And even like, the wrestler guy from like 3 was in there and Skate and like, all these different characters from, it was just fun to just play it over and over again and get all the extra people.
Number 2 is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles again, but this time it's the Cowabunga collection.
Oh, yeah.
I thought that one might be higher, because they did a really good job, including like the arcades and the different versions like Genesis and NES and Super Nintendo versions of things.
Yeah,
Turtles in Time being accessible like finally on a console since the original one like was kind of locked behind. I don't know if it was ever re-released on the Wii. I don't think it was.
Of course, there's the nostalgia factor.
Turtles in Time. It was on like Xbox Arcade, I think, but not.
That's right.
I don't think it was ever. Yeah, the only I know that the original Turtles arcade game was unlockable in one of the GameCube games, the GameCube Turtle games. I actually have it, and I did unlock it. But as far as that goes, that was like the only one you could play before this.
Yeah, there was the nostalgia factor for this one certainly at play. But these are great games, and not only that, the presentation again was fantastic. And this was, I think, at a time when we were just learning. Who's the studio again?
Digital Eclipse.
Digital Eclipse, yeah. Keep wanting to say Night Dive. Digital Eclipse. I think this is when they were first sort of making their mark and like, this is how you should be doing these kinds of games. these kinds of retro collections.
Giving them like historical context with
historical
like,
context,
the frame
yeah.
of the game. I love that so much.
Yeah, it was just so impressive that you can not only play the games, but you could dig in and you could see like the design documents for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on the NES. And
yeah, they had a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I remember seeing an interview with Chris Kohler, and he was saying like to get all this stuff, you had to like call Konami Japan, and they were like you want what? Like, why do you want this? You know, he said, yeah, I want everything. And then they kept asking him, like, do you want this too? He said, yes, I want everything. Give me everything. Copy, paste, send it in the email, all of it.
He was so much more excited than when we interviewed him about the Labo.
Yeah, I was going to say, we interviewed Chris Kohler also on our Patreon about the Nintendo Labo. Listen to it, patreon.com/NintenDomain podcast. But, you know, he was super friendly to us, though. It was cool that...
I own his previous copy of New Super Mario Bros. On the DS.
And we both bought his book, right? Didn't we both get the Final Fantasy V book? Oh, we both bought the book, and I bought, like, Tales of Phantasia, the Game Boy Advance game or whatever from him. My book is on a bookshelf somewhere. I should try reading it sometime.
Yeah, we got Power Up.
Got it signed too. Yeah.
From I got his book Power Up from, I think I got it like 2005 or 2000, long time ago. But I think it was like one of his college projects or something that he published. It was pretty early on. And then finally, my best beat 'em up on the Switch is the one thing that I've also said is the best beat 'em up of all time, Sifu.
Oh yeah,
that game. I knew it.
Yep. There's no other comparison. I mean, yes, every other game that I listed, you know, these are some of them are older games or remakes of older games, revivals of old series, and whatever. This is the next step. Like this is the next high bar for the beat 'em up genre to reach. This game, it just feels like your thumbs are Jackie Chan. Like that's the best way to describe it. I don't know. It's like sliding your thumbs around. It asks you to like kind of slide your thumbs around to like to like finish the guys off, like a little flick or something like that. That's like one cool thing. Like to finish to do the finishing moves with a slide, like you're like shoving the guy away, like you just did that cool thing, and now you're kicking them off screen or whatever.
Super duper cool about using like the environment, like
using the environment.
Break a beer bottle into his neck or whatever, like
steal a weapon.
Can't you like
hit somebody else with it?
Yeah, can't you
use
a lot of stuff in the environment?
Yeah, you just have to. The controls, as complicated as they can be, are actually pretty simple. I mean, to the point where you begin in a pretty intense scenario where you're just like walking into a dojo and asked to like kick everybody's ass, and within moments you just feel like, whoa. I think I said it before about this game. I said it recently about something else. I don't know. It just feels like you're a superhero. Like in the moments of like the opening of Spider-Man when Toby gets his powers, what you just look at your hands, you're like, whoa, I just did that. What? How did that happen? That's the kind of feeling that this game gives you. It just makes you feel like superhuman or something. Yeah, I feel like I'm playing a martial arts movie. It's the best beat 'em up I've ever played, and I very much look forward to whatever
it has.
Next.
It has a fairly robust but kind of light RPG element in that.
It does, yeah.
You can upgrade your different moves and stuff through like accumulating points and stuff.
Yeah, and it's a roguelike too, and so you play through it, but you've not really beaten it because you've not earned all the moves, and you got to come back again and earn all the different moves. See all the game has to offer.
And every time you get beat up, you come back like older.
Yeah. Don't you lose like years of age or whatever? Whenever you.
Yep.
But it's like when you get older, you can do certain things, but you can't do other things, and like there's cool like balancing mechanics with that, right? Like where some moves you can't do, but you're wiser.
Less health, but you hit harder.
Yeah.
Yep.
So good stuff. Good shit. I think Sifu was like one of your number one games.
It was my game of the year.
One of them years whenever it came out. So yeah.
Trey, you haven't played this game yet, have you?
I played John's copy.
That's right.
And actually, I have it on my PS4 also because it was on PlayStation Plus. But
Yeah,
I never played it on PS4. But I played it when John was here for probably your wedding party, pre-wedding party. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's a fantastic game.
Yeah, I should. Yeah, I'll try it out more often. Maybe they'll do some updates for Switch 2, and I'll get in there and try it out. My so I got the confirmation from Nintendo about the GameCube controller. I checked my tracking number, and it says that it will arrive on Thursday.
Mine says the same.
Yeah, so we might actually get it on the day of the system. I didn't expect that it would. I really didn't. But
Mine is currently in Seattle in my tracking.
Mine's in Tacoma. It's in Tacoma, Washington. But it says estimated delivery June 5th between 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. So
it still says expected by Monday, May 26th.
I mean, but did you? Yeah, but you haven't gotten a recent. Like, I just got an email. Like, I got an email at 9:30 or 9:23. Like after we recorded. So.
Mine was at 3 a.m.
Not a recent one, but there's a tracking number on this email. There always was a tracking number on this email. I don't know if you guys had one before.
Oh, was there? Yeah, I don't remember seeing it.
I had an order number, but not a tracking number until today.
Yeah, mine still says preparing to ship. So something funky happened with my email. I don't know.
Well, I mean,
expected by May 26th. It always had the tracking number on there. I don't know.
Well, hopefully you get one in like the next couple hours. But yeah, no, that makes me more excited. I was like, oh, am I going to get the GameCube controller too? Like on the same.
I'm just going
to
hold it and look at it.
Well, I mean, I thought about like, because we just set up our box shelf over here, like by the stairs, and I got my 64 controller box, but it has no controller in it. I was like, I could get a second one and just put the GameCube one up there with the GameCube controller in it, and I could just. Well, I'd have to pay like $70 extra to just look at it, but it'd be cool, because I love that old controller. But speaking of old systems, why don't we do our final top 10? I know we did this before. We've done it like whenever there was an anniversary or whatever for the Switch. I know we've done it in the past, but the Switch 2 will be out by the time we talk next week. So I was like, well, why don't we do like our final ultimate top 10? And we can just, we don't have to, obviously we don't have time to go like by number and all that. We'll just each do our 10 and then that sort of thing. But
if we have any doubles, then we'll say where we put that double or triples or whatever.
Sure. Or you can, well, I was just going to go through my top 10 and then you guys can do that just for time's sake instead of like alternating by number like we normally do, because that takes like 3 hours.
Sure.
But yeah, here's my top 10 that I came up with like 2 nights ago, or whatever, that I threw together in some minutes. So, number 10. This is my controversial top 10 here. No, I like it a lot. Number 10, Pokemon Arceus is my number 10.
Oh, cool.
Best Switch 1 games of all time. As of the time of me writing this. I mean, who knows if it will change or not. But no, Pokemon Arceus was obviously a really, really cool game. I've been a Pokemon fan for a long time, but Arceus like really did a lot to reinvent the wheel and to change the game, and I really liked what they did with it. I liked that you could, that there were Pokemon that you would have to trade to evolve that you didn't have to anymore, and you could decide when your Pokemon evolved, and you could choose like what moves they had, but you could switch them out later if you didn't want those. Like there was like so much more freedom to it than the other games. And I loved like the openness of it, the open world. I love that you could just throw a Pokeball at a Pokemon and automatically catch them without even fighting them. Like that was the coolest thing ever. And when I was towards the end and I was catching like the mega Pokemon just by throwing a ball at them was just amazing to me. Like I just love, and I was building this whole team of like, cause you could do like the alpha versions of everything. So I found all the different alphas, and yeah, I had a shit ton of fun with this game. It was great. Like, and you could fly around on the Pokemon and all that. And yeah, it was wonderful. And then they went back. It was like, it was almost, like whatever, Pokemon Breath of the Wild or whatnot, just because it's in an open world. But I just felt like it did so well to just reinvent the series, and I had a blast with it. And I think, and that year we had Pokemon Arceus and Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, and Arceus still came out on top from both of those. And it was like at the beginning of the year too. It came out in like January or something. So it was real early. But in case I don't forget it, did you guys watch any of the fucking the new like 60 FPS Pokemon Scarlet Violet stuff? It looks fucking great.
No.
Oh, it's on your Nintendo app. It's on the Nintendo Today app. That's where it was posted. But it looks awesome. Like, they finally fixed the fucking water level. I mean, the water was the worst, like when you're in the water, but it actually looks great. Like, it makes me I'm really excited to jump into it again. I might have to buy that DLC too, just because it looks amazing now on Switch 2. So, hooray. I mean, we haven't seen anything about Pokemon Arceus update, but there should be one, because that game's awesome. All right, number 9, Pikmin 4. This one was my game of the year, I think. It was up there. I think it was under AEW Fight Forever. And by the way, my list, I wanted to make it specific stuff that was made specifically for Switch. So there may be some games that I really like that I've talked about that aren't on there because they weren't necessarily original Switch games. I tried to switch, go mostly to stuff that were made specifically for the system. But yeah, but Pikmin 4, not Pikmin. Pikmin 4 was really, really fun. I mean, it basically went back to my favorite Pikmin, and that's Pikmin 2 on GameCube. And it had like all the underground caves and all the different things you can do. And they even included the spoilers, but once you beat the game, you get to play the entirety of Pikmin 1, but reimagined and remade. So there's like a remaster of Pikmin 1 hidden inside of Pikmin 4. Like, it's like there's just a million things to do there. And I can't wait to play it again. They haven't said that it's going to be updated at all for Switch 2, but I hope they do. Because, yeah, it was really cool. And Ochi, he's always the best boy. Ochi is your best boy. He'll carry your Pikmin wherever you need to go. Now, it was a wonderful game, and I'm happy that Pikmin finally has become popular on Switch. They're all on there. We gave all of them. Pikmin 1, 2, 3, and 4 are on Switch.
You know it'll get an update because Miyamoto loves Pikmin.
Yeah, Pikmin 4, stellar-ass game. Like, I had a great time with that game. And there's still stuff. I still need to get to second credits. I just got to the first credits, so there's plenty more to play on that. But yeah, that was a wonderful game. And my number 8, why is it so low? Maybe it should be higher. My number 8 is F-Zero 99, a very, very amazing Nintendo Switch Online free game. As I said earlier, I still pop in and play it. It basically took one of my favorite games of all time, F-Zero on Super Nintendo, and basically added all of the extra stuff that they had given to you in like F-Zero X and F-Zero GX and all the later games, and made it with 99 players, and it's incredibly fast, and it plays really, really well. The music is incredible. They're still adding shit to it, like the mirror mode. They redid the courses and added more shit to it, and you got the top layer that you can do, and it's a fucking badass game. And it's a gift that keeps on giving, and we paid nothing for it. Well, you pay like what, $20 a year for Nintendo Switch Online, and you get it as a free game. But yeah, F-Zero 99, like that game just blew my mind. Where I was like, Nintendo, you care for me, my favorite Super Nintendo game. You finally finally reached out a twig to me or whatever for loving Super Nintendo. I still like even hearing that soundtrack on there still gets me every time because it's an incredible soundtrack. But yeah, number 8, F-Zero 99. Number 7, Luigi's Mansion 3. Fucking great game.
That's so good.
Love Luigi's Mansion. It was like the game just kind of blows me away just how much they change each of the games. Like, yeah, the original Luigi's Mansion was on the short side, but it was very creative. It had a lot of really cool stuff to it, and a dead baby. There's a dead baby you get to fight in there. Baby ghosts. Yep. And Luigi's Mansion 2 like had multiple mansions that you get to go to. But the really cool thing about Luigi's Mansion 3 is it's like levels. It's like a big giant building, and you collect different buttons to add to the elevator, and that will take you to a different level that completely different. And that's how they can add so much amazing things to it. It's like one level is like a fucking ocean with sharks in it or whatever, and like one level is a fucking history museum, and another level is like a pyramid with sand everywhere. Like they could just go crazy with it and make everything just like
there's like
ridiculous.
A whole one that's like a bunch of movie sets. That one was really cool.
Yeah. There's the movie lot too. Yeah, where you look through the camera and you can see different special effects when you're looking through the camera. Yeah, no, there was just so much. It was so imaginative, and there was just so much creativity to it, and you get to see the origin of the evil piano. That's like a part of that, like how it was created, the scary ass piano from Mario 64. No, Luigi's Mansion 3 was like, I don't feel like people talk enough about this game. Like, this game is a stellar ass Switch 1 game, and I'm sure we're going to get a Luigi's Mansion 2 on Switch 2, or Luigi's
one of
Mansion
the best
4.
looking Switch games.
Yeah,
easily.
yeah, very, very good looking game too. And I remember playing. It was a 2019 game, and it was really high up there on my best games of the year. I think it was like 2 or 3 or something like that for that year. And I remember finishing it in 2020, like in the middle of the pandemic, and I don't know, it made me, at least I could feel good about things playing Luigi's Mansion 3 because it was such a good game, aside from, the world falling down around us or whatever, which that is still happening, but, Yeah, Luigi's Mansion 3, awesome game. I think everybody should play it. And they should do an update. I would love to see like a 4K, whatever, 60 FPS, whatever they do to it. HDR, whatever, UHD, all those different terms you hear out there. Do it for Luigi's Mansion 3. Number 6, Tetris 99. Here's a game that we played the shit out of. And I've been playing I still have I have all the different themes. I've played it for every event. I've gotten all the themes. I've found a way to do it because I just love playing the game. It's a fucking brilliant-ass game. Tetris, one of the greatest games of all time. You can play it with 99 other people. And just the fact that they would do it for every different Nintendo release. We have like Xenoblade, Chronicles themes. There's like, WarioWare and like Miitopia and all this other shit on there also. But yeah, so much fun to play online. I hope to someday win and be a Tetris master, but I've never gotten there. But it's still fun to play. And yeah, it'll let you know. It'll let you know whether the Switch 2 Pro controller sucks or not once you get to play that one, and see if it auto drops or not. But
I'll let you know.
Yeah, Tetris 99, amazing game. Speaking of 2020 earlier, another game that got us through that year at number 5 is Animal Crossing: New Horizons. Got to have it on here, of course, because yeah, it's one of the best Animal Crossing games of all time. I mean, I have a poster over here that you can get at the $15 level of Nintendo Main Patreon that shows like all of our different islands when we did our Patreon live stream where we went to all the different places and all that. It shows like John's island and Jeremy's island and my island and just different parts like stuck on top of each other. I made a poster out of it. You can get it from the Patreon. But no, it just meant so much to all of us. 2020 was rough, but at least we had Animal Crossing. At least we had something we could do where we could feel like we were making money somewhere and paying Tom Nook back and all that stuff. And it was meant a lot to everybody.
And we had a place to celebrate New Year's together.
Yeah, like a few times. Like we did it for a few years. Like even after that, and Jess put like 1,000 hours into Animal Crossing. And just like it got like you and John and Jess, like you both did Super Mario Maker 2 and Animal Crossing. Mm-hmm. You both broke the 1,000-hour level. I've never done that for anything. Well, at least nothing that was recorded. I'm sure previous games I've done that for, but
Same.
Yeah, Animal Crossing, an amazing game, so much fun to play. Yeah, I had a blast with it. It was hella fun. And we're in the top 5 now. So number 4 is Monster Hunter Rise. Finally got me into the Monster Hunters. I've been wanting to get into them for so long, but Rise was the one that did it. And as Jeremy was saying about Luigi's Mansion 3, this is also one of the best looking games on Nintendo Switch. And it's not even a Nintendo game. It's a Capcom game, but it's made specifically for the Switch. And they just did an incredible job with it. Like everything looked beautiful, the environments looked beautiful, and playing online with people worked great. And they added a bunch of DLC to it. I think, and I have like my character's dressed as like Akuma, and like my dog is like the dog from Mega Man, and the cat is like Sonic. Like you do all this weird shit in there. It's all these crossover stuff. And yeah, it's fun. It's fun as hell. It looks great. Monster Hunter Rise. Awesome. Number 3, Metroid Dread.
Yeah.
Metroid Dread was our game of the year whenever it came out because we all had it at like number 2. So it got the most out of everything. Yeah. But yeah, Metroid Dread, like, yeah, who the fuck would have thought? Like, speaking of like bringing things out of nowhere to bring them back or whatever, like, Metroid Dread was like a joke, or we thought it was fake. Like it was
supposed to be on the DS or the Game Boy, right?
It was mentioned like, well, it was supposed to be. Advance. Well, it would have. Yeah, it was supposed to be like a sequel to Metroid Fusion or whatever. It was like rumored. Apparently, people saw it. Like Jeremy Parrish said, he saw footage of Metroid Dread or whatever on whatever system. And there was even like I think in Metroid Prime 3 and like some of the the scans. There's mention of Metroid Dread in there. Or whatever. It was like this it was this thing that we had heard of that was just did it exist? Did it not? Who knows? It was a mystery.
Vaporware.
It was a mystery or whatever. And then we got Metroid Dread, and it ended up being this just fucking stellar ass 2D Metroid game, just like so good, like, and just so replayable. Like you could try to go through it faster or whatever, and just like being able to slide before you could get the morph ball or sliding into the morph ball, I still think is smoother than any of the other previous Metroid games, and Super Metroid is one of my favorite games of all time. But I mean, this game just played so fucking well, and it was so much fun to play, and it's a stellar game. I can't. It drives me crazy that we have no release date for Metroid Prime 4 yet. It just drives me nuts. But at least we got Metroid Dread, which is incredible. And speaking of incredible, my number 2 is Dragon Quest XI S, which is the Switch version of Dragon Quest XI, which basically combined the Dragon Quest XI 3DS game and the PlayStation 4 game. And it was a Switch exclusive for a long time. And that was another game I played the shit out of 2020. And it's just a celebration of all of the legacy of Dragon Quest. Like, there's references to all the different Dragon Quest games in there. And it's beautiful. The stories are great. All the characters are incredible in there. And it looks amazing. Like, it's a very, very good-looking game on Switch. And, yeah. And I just loved how they incorporated the stuff from the 3DS, even to the point where you could play it in 16-bit from the beginning to the end if you want to, even though there's, like, some horse races that you have to play in 3D, unfortunately. But most of it is in 16-bit. But, yeah, Dragon Quest XI. Good shit. And, of course, my number 1 game on the Nintendo Switch 1 is Xenoblade Chronicles 3. I love that game so much. I think I already said before that was my favorite Switch game of all time, but it's just so amazing to see Monolith Soft get to where they've gotten, like, especially with, doing these episodes with Mike or whatever, when we're talking about, like, Xenosaga and, like, Xenogears and all these, kind of failures that they had before, and then Nintendo scooped them up. And it's like taking somebody who made these movies that bombed or whatever, and then you scoop them up and you got, like, Citizen Kane or something out of it, and then you got these amazing games where you just let them do whatever they want. And I felt like Xenoblade Chronicles 3 was the pinnacle of all of it. It's like where we finally brought everything together. Like, the characters are amazing. Like, you have the perfect balance between, like, the cutscenes and the gameplay and all of that. And, like, and even, like, you can pick up extra members, and you can, like, learn, you can transfer a different, there's job classes that you can switch from one to another, and it has an incredibly epic story, and it even somehow, like, is almost like 1 versus 2, like, in the like battle mechanics and the combos, and it's just it's a beefy ass beef game of a thing. And Lance would love it.
It's a beef game
because it's the beefier that he wants from all the battles that he says it's not, or no, not meatier enough. But Xenoblade Chronicles 3, wonderful game, incredible soundtrack, great it's great voice actors, and great story and all that shit. My number 1.
I can fly through my list pretty quick because there are going to be some commonalities here. They're just in different places. But
I was trying to be as quick as I could there, but
Yeah, I'll be quick here. My number 10 is Splatoon 3. It's better than Splatoon 2 in every way. It's just a better game, and I still play it sometimes, and especially since Trey got me the Side Order DLC. It's like a roguelike mode that's really fun. But just Splatoon 3 is so fun. It's just such a good game. It looks so nice. The music's so good. Everything about it. It's just a fun game. And this introduced the 3-team battle, which I've still only experienced a couple of times. But
Tricolor? Yeah, no, I've done it a few times. You got to jump on for those Splatfests.
Yeah, awesome game. It has legs, even though they're squid. 9, Metroid Dread. I love Metroid Dread.
There it is.
It's a little lower down for me. 8, Moon. Moon was from the golden age of RPGs on the PlayStation 1, and it was a parody of other RPGs, and it's just such a weird ass game with such weird ass mechanics, but it captivated me, and I loved it. I was totally consumed by that game, and it still sticks with me. I still think about it.
It's on my list of games to go back to, and just having played it, I probably put it 8 or 9 hours into it. I don't know, but I was like, this feels like Chibi Robo. Obviously, it's a 2D game.
Yeah,
I could just feel like structurally, it feels very much the same, and the humor, and even some like the sound effects, the noises and stuff. Yeah,
we still need that sequel too.
Yeah,
there is a sequel that actually is out in Japan, but it's not been localized yet. But they did make, well, it's it's not like Moon 2, but it's the same company, and the art looks very much the same as that. And
Spiritual
and
sequel.
it did actually get released, but yeah, there was no mention of an English version, but hopefully we'll get that eventually. But it did come out like a month ago or something like that.
Real quick, are we going to do a ultimate list, compile all these, and figure out what the actual Nintendo Main top 10 is?
I should we could. I needed to start taking notes. If we do,
So,
I think all you need to do is write down like the ones. You had Dread as well, so I had that at 9.
yeah. Well, I just have to put points on everything.
Yeah.
It's just the ones that we have in common. But yeah, no, I can start doing that in the background as Jeremy's going.
All right, number 7, Inscription. If you go back on the podcast way early on, I'm talking about this game called Pony Island that I was playing that I got through like a Humble Bundle or something, and it's the same developer. And Inscription is just it takes a lot of those like fourth wall breaking concepts and kind of puts them into like this roguelike card game that it's just a fantastic game. It may be
very original too.
It's extremely original. Just everything about it, the structure of it, and if you don't, ruin it for yourself by looking at a Let's Play or something, you're going to be, thoroughly surprised by what it has to throw at you at each step of the way. And it really turns the whole card playing game genre on its head of what could be done if you just made that its own little world where shit can get crazy.
I showed it to my brother-in-law. I showed it to my brother-in-law, who's very much into card games and goes to like board game conventions, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
and he loved this game. He tore right through it, and yeah, he had a great time with it.
It's so good. I've played through it beginning and end 3 times since it came out. Just wanting to go back to it just because I love it so much. And
two episodes in a row with mention of Inscription. You talked about it last week with the Rogues, but hey, it's on multiple tops here.
It's worth it. It's a good game.
This one is number 7 or 6?
7.
Okay, cool. All right.
Did you play Inscription, Trey?
No, I still haven't played it yet.
Number 6, Dragon Quest 11.
Oh, lower than I thought. But yeah, there we go.
All the reasons that Trey said, I love it. I didn't play as much as Trey did, but I did see the first credits. So I at least, I got a pretty good emotional impact from the game. I just didn't.
You didn't get the second credits.
You're
a poser. No,
I kind of am.
I'm kidding.
But
I'm kidding.
Also,
it's
I've
hard.
never had the heart.
Harder.
I've never had the heart to delete it for my Switch. It's still sitting on there. It's the first game it always suggests deleting when like I don't have enough space on the system, and I've never deleted it since I downloaded it because I still think I'm going to go back and keep playing it at some point.
Go back and play it on Switch too. No, it's a very good game, and that second half is pretty compelling. Like after the credits, like it's worth it. I'm saying it's worth it to go through that second credits.
Number 5, Tetris 99. Once again, for all the reasons Trey said.
We're close. Mine was number 6, but yeah, we're very close on our Tetris 99.
Tetris 99 is also a popular game in my household. It's really the main video game that Shauna and I play together still. When we play video games together, it's usually the one that pops up and we play. So Shauna is infinitely better at me, but I have gotten second place on it once, so I do have the highest place of our household. Number 4, Animal Crossing: New Horizons.
We're like one spot away there because 6 and 5, 5 and 4 there.
And it's the most played game on my console still.
Yeah, me too. With like 600 hours, I think.
Yeah, it's not even close.
Yep.
Number 3, Breath of the Wild. The one that started it all. I love it. I love that game. I remember playing it when it first came out, and I had the smart light bulbs that you could change the color, and I made them all like hunter green in my house when I played it, so it kind of felt like I was like in a forest while I was playing it, and it just kind of added the ambiance. But what a great game. Breath of the Wild 3. And also, that's one of the ones we got to try at the Nintendo event. And that was like a super memorable moment for me because I've never been playing a demo of a game and having my very own rep there talking to me while I was doing it and coaching me and supporting me and telling me how good of a job I was doing. Number 2, another repeat from my roguelikes from last week, Hades. Hades was an exclusive on the Switch when it first came out. At least the full version, the 1.0 or whatever. It dropped on Switch first, just like Hades 2 is going to do. And wow, Hades, I don't know how much I played of that game. Like I guess I could look at the hour count, but it's in my top 10 most played games on the Switch for sure. So Hades is wonderful. I know whenever Hades 2 drops on Switch 2, I'm going to be basically only playing that probably. And number one, should come as no surprise, Tears of the Kingdom. I think it's the best game on the Switch by far. It's so good. And having like come off of Elden Ring to this, the similarities were there. They weren't, super similar, but it made it feel really modern that it had like kind of these elements. It was almost like they were kind of like aping off each other a little bit, but in all the best ways. And so like by adding like the caves and adding the entire underground and the sky, you just took Breath of the Wild and you just made Breath of the Wild like almost look obsolete by comparison, because
Absolutely.
it just, and then all the tinkering and the vehicles you can make and all the interesting ways you can solve puzzles, or even including like the sign puzzles, like where you're trying to get the guy's sign to stand up. Man, those things are so fun. Cool. They're so fun.
Yeah. Every time I find one of those, I'm still finding it, and I'm like, this has to be the last one, right? Like, yeah. Oh my, like, I'm almost like mad at the guy that he keeps showing up. Like, I'm enjoying this, but like, really, there's another one. I can't believe it that I'm finding these, and I forget how many hundreds of hours I'm into the game, still finding that guy. Yeah, this also has one of my favorite. Well, first I got to say, like, what a feat to pretty much unanimously, I think, across all the professional gaming reviewers and stuff, to dethrone Breath of the Wild as the best game of all time, is like, or one of the best Zelda games the best Zelda game of all time at the very least. Like, when Breath of the Wild came out, and it was just like, smack you across the face, so absolutely gorgeous, revolutionary, all the things that people said about it. That was a high bar to even attempt to meet. And just the fact that Tears of the Kingdom so absolutely, like, at inarguably at the very least met that bar, and I think most critics agree actually surpassed it. What an accomplishment!
Because they kept like the whole like underground pretty like secret until closer to release.
Yeah,
and it's brilliant. It's a brilliant game. It's probably the Switch being pushed to its absolute most that it could be, and still looking good, and still not really suffering much in performance. Mm-hmm. I still just boot it up, every couple of weeks. I haven't played it in a while, but I'll boot it up every couple of weeks just to, warp to wherever the highest island is, make like a little vehicle, fly off of it, and then just see how far I can fly. Like, it's just so exhilarating still doing that and seeing the whole world underneath you and knowing like, oh yeah, there's a dungeon I played. Oh yeah, there's all those shrines I discovered, and down further, you could be floating and you're like, you know what? There's a hole in the ground. I'm going to dive now, and you dive all the way down, and then you can like explore the underworld and see all the fun stuff that's under there, and just wow, such a good game, like one of the best games ever made, I would say, easily.
Yeah, me too. The reveal of the underground, as you mentioned, that I think that's the best Nintendo surprise, I think, ever. Like, the fact that they had you look for all the marketing of Tears of the Kingdom was saying, look up, you can go in the sky, look up. And then they said nothing about the underground. And then when the game came out, they let the fans just discover it. And there's all kinds of videos you can look up of people finding the first hole in the ground, and then, oh, what is that? And then diving in, and then having that slow realization, oh my, this is a whole world down. This game is 3 times as big as Breath of the Wild. Like, those videos are fun to watch. I've gone back and watched those.
I would say arguably the Sky Islands not so much, but it's because they're the way they're tiered out. Like,
sure,
pun intended, that they're
it's not as many.
I don't know. They kind of put more. I don't know. They kind of made each of the islands sort of like bespoke or whatever, like to like fit a theme or something. Whereas the underground was kind of its one giant thing that was all just connected to the overworld and historically. And there's like clues and stuff you can find down there about the history of the world and stuff. And I didn't really dig a whole lot into that, but there's a lot of like environmental storytelling in the underground that
Oh yeah.
kind of like gives you an idea of why things are the way they are on the surface and subsequently in the sky. But I remember like one of my favorite things I remember doing was like I got to the water temple, but I wasn't supposed to be there yet. But I got there by building like vehicles and getting up there, and turns out there was a way you could like get up there from the surface. And yeah, it's just a good game. I mean, I played it. That's like all I did after it came out, and I don't think I ever like really burned myself out on it. And I have to say, you still, John, you still haven't experienced it, but it's easily the best ending to a Zelda game of any Zelda game, and I've played them all. I haven't beaten all of them, but I've played every Zelda game, and it's the best. It's absolutely the best ending, and it's just so cool. It's just so cool how they tie it all together, and the payoff is definitely proportionate to what you did to get there. So
Nice.
I think just overall, this is just a triumph of a video game through and through. Like it's just an amazing game.
I'm excited to get back into
Do
it.
you have to have the mech to beat it, or can you just go beat it? I mean, I guess you don't need it, right?
I don't think you have to have the mech to beat it, but the mech is like kind of a culmination of what all the other guys are you save.
Oh, yeah, because I thought you kind of didn't like the mech.
No, the mech sucks. So I guess the mech is awful, but everything else is fine.
Well, I mean, because yeah, I said I'd go back to it. To obviously, I have to see the upgrades and all that for Switch 2. But I was planning on just like powering just straight through it. Just get to the end, get to the credits. Let's just do it. And I was at the mech part, and I was like, can I just skip that? I kind of don't want to do that, So
I'd say the mech comes in handy if you equip it right, which then kind of just becomes another thing to manage, like making sure it has laser beams or cannons or whatever. But it has saved me a few times where I was on the razor's edge about to get killed, but that's he shot somebody, So
I think the mech like fell a little short just because the customization of it is pretty limited compared to what you can do by just building your own vehicles. So if you could like combine the mech with some of these crazy vehicles in some way, if you could make your mech like have the ability to fly anywhere because it's attached to a hoverboard or whatever, you know what I mean? Like if you could do that sort of thing, then I'd probably like the mech. But the mech is kind of its own thing, and it's more of an NPC and sort of like kind of a vehicle, but not really. I think you can use it to walk through lava or something if you want. But by the time I got the mech, like none of that mattered anymore because I could just locomote with my machines however I wanted to.
They should have the mech turn into a motorcycle. And that would have been cool.
right? Yeah, where's our motorcycle for the second one? All right.
All right, so my list.
Top 10 me here.
All right, number 10, Sifu. Don't need to say anything else yet about it. I just talked about it. Fantastic beat 'em up. Wonderful game. Number 9, Animal Crossing New Horizons. I had just as good a time as anybody else in 2020. Boy, that game shone bright and burned out fast, but hey, what a time we had.
It was my job when I didn't have a job.
It didn't burn out that fast. Like we played it for a good couple of years. Like that's more than you get out of most games.
I would say I got a good 6 months out of it.
No, I think we played it for. I thought we played. I mean, I just said earlier we played it through like 2 New Year's Eves at least. Like I don't know. I got a couple of years out of it.
The gist of it, the I don't know. Most people, I think, played their 300 hours in the first 5 or 6 months. But anyway, not to diss Animal Crossing. It's a fantastic game. I'm putting it at number 9.
On your list,
Yeah, it's on my list. Next is Super Smash Brothers Ultimate. That game. I think I probably put 150 hours or maybe 200 hours into it. I don't know. Just on the merits alone of having so much content in there, and Sakurai donating half of his soul to this game.
Single player was really good too. It had a really solid single player.
Yeah, I like the single player mode. I had a lot of fun playing that.
Beat that in 2020 also. with
I beat that too.
with the bulbs that Jeremy had mentioned earlier. I went and bought my own as well. The Wi-Fi bulbs with the different colors and changed the colors behind the TV as well for Smash Brother Ultimate. End like for the ending, which I don't know if you ever got to the end of it, Jeremy, but
I did not.
it does have a really cool surprise. I remember John saying that on the podcast, and then I got there, and yes, there is some. It's worth it to get to the end of the single player because
I don't think there was ever
some very cool stuff.
Another video game in history that had as many cool like hype like teaser trailers and like character reveals and stuff. Like they did like the media blitz for this game made it like even more exciting than it already was.
They did a really good job.
The hype train was fun.
Yeah, and like faking you out where it's like, oh, it's going to be this, but it isn't. But it is. You know, like they did some really fun.
I mean, my favorite was
troll
when
stuff.
My favorite was when Luigi got killed. No, my favorite was when what's his face from Tekken threw Kirby off the cliff, like from the
and then he flies out of it,
and you see him flying off in the distance. It's so funny.
Well, I just or like the King K. Rool one where it's like, oh, that's the Shadow King K. Rool. Oh no, it's really not him, but no, it is him. Yeah, that one was really funny. Like where it was like King K. Rool, but then it showed like, or no, was it? It was something or like that or Banjo-Kazooie.
Banjo-Kazooie, yeah.
Or maybe it was Banjo, yeah, where it's like, oh, here's the Shadow, but it's not them, but it's Donkey Kong. But it is Banjo-Kazooie. Like, yeah, they did all this fun stuff with it.
Next, Atari 50 collection. I had a great time with this. You know, if you treat it like a documentary, like you just sit down with it intentionally over the course of a week, it's a real different kind of video game. It's going to give you some lessons, some context, some history, and give you a lot of appreciation for the forefathers, the four people of video games. You know,
who are those four people?
Joe,
James, Steve,
George Washington, Thomas Jefferson,
George Washington Miyamoto.
Yeah,
I don't know, some of those people.
Yeah, that's the way I advise anybody approach it. Is just like think of it like a Ken Burns documentary, something you're going to be watching over the course of a week and actually getting to engage in and interact with. And there's lots of cool new stuff in there. I like some of the new twists on the classic games. The new Breakout was really fun. You could pour a lot of time into this game if you really want to, and I think get a lot out of it and get a lot of appreciation for how far video games have come. Number 6 is Super Mario Odyssey. I think, not the best 3D Mario, but a very enjoyable one and a memorable one. And there's a lot of elements of it that I feel like celebrate the series, like getting to run into the wall and go into 2D, especially that the New Donk City level, like the finale of that level, one of the greatest, I think, Mario scenes that there is. It's just
with Paulina singing.
Yep. Yeah, and the song, take it or leave it. It's fun and enjoyable in that moment.
Odyssey, yes, see.
Yep.
Odyssey,
it'll get you humming. That's for sure.
Yep.
Yeah, there's a lot to like about Super Mario Odyssey. I think it doesn't beat the peaks of the Galaxy games.
We still haven't gotten Super Mario Iliad. I'm waiting.
Super Mario Iliad, yeah.
I mean, it's another one. I want to revisit all the ones that are getting upgrades on Switch too, so I'll definitely revisit this one again.
I'm definitely going to look at it again too, yep. Maybe I'll finally beat the, whatever that is, the final hard level.
Well, I mean, just take your Switch 2, controller and just do this. You can fly over the whole thing. I did it. I recorded it and put it on YouTube. It's out there.
Yeah, I knew that. I just didn't want to do it that way.
Well, I mean, you guys were stressing about it, and I was like, I'll just fly over it. And I did. I just wanted to prove I could beat it.
Number 5, The Messenger. I love this game, and just thinking about that game just kind of, makes my heart swell a little bit. It's just like such a interesting, fun little indie game. It makes me feel like I don't know, when I think of indie games, this is one of the first ones that I think of. Just so original, so well done. If it obviously is done by a smaller team, but they have absolutely pushed the boundaries of what a small team can do. It feels big. It's a love letter to Ninja Gaiden. It starts out that way, but then grows into other territories and does its own unique things. And I think the action is just fun. It feels very fluid.
That was a cool
humor-
moment for us as a podcast when they
Oh,
shouted
yeah.
us out.
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
I'll never forget that. That was a lot of fun.
yeah.
too.
We got it as
We named it our game of the year.
declared it as game of the year, and they hit us back on seeing that, and it's nice to be noticed.
Yeah, it's a game that's pretty often on sale, and everyone should go pick that up.
And they also made Sea of Stars, which is also
They did
an
make
amazing
Sea of
game.
Stars.
Yeah, that's another one that John and I should both revisit because we didn't beat it.
It's on my list. Yep. And they came out with DLC for it, which I beat that too. It was a lot of fun. I do want to talk about the humor of this game. Like, part of the charm of this game is just how well written it is and how funny it is. It just absolutely carries it. I played this game, I think, around 30, 35 hours. And it was just like funny and entertaining throughout. After that, it's the game that I played the most on Switch. It's Super Mario Maker 2. That's right, yes. So I enjoyed it. It was my first real time playing Super Mario Maker. So I didn't miss the gamepad. I liked playing it on the controller just fine. I only made 3 levels really. So I made one that I was really proud of. I think I spent a lot of time on that one,
The
40 hours or so.
the baby,
The baby one.
Yeah, the baby one. Yeah, I like that one.
I mean, that's the one I
did a
remember
good
the
job on
most.
that.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, the
I
baby.
made you the little poison mushroom pixel guy.
You did. You made me the
In
poison mushroom.
celebration of your level.
Yep, and I got that on my fridge right now.
There's the baby one, and then the Bob Spicy Meal. That's the one. The other one.
Yeah.
Jeremy. Yeah.
That's my magnum opus of any level I've ever made.
And I have I have a level that was, I tried to make a level from Katana Zero on there, like with the DJ guy. Yeah, we have to.
I made you that guy too.
Yeah, where I have to kill the DJ guy, and you made the DJ guy, and then and you made the Boo for Jess also for their levels that they made on there. So we all had fun with it, even though it only made it on one of our lists.
Where I got most of my 1,000 hours was in the multiplayer. Which I really enjoyed the multiplayer for all that it lacked and everything. Yes, we need better social in the next Mario Maker. I thought
At least it wasn't
fun.
the DS one,
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
which
yeah.
had no social.
The 3DS one. Yeah, you couldn't even upload your levels. You had to like street pass them to people.
So weird for a game that's built around making levels. Yeah, yeah, it was just fun. So I played 1,000 hours basically. Of all that time, probably 800 of those hours was in the multiplayer, even though it was just very basic. And if you found a good level in there, it was just fun to like run through and try to, beat the other guys up, throw them off a ledge, and yeah, I had a good time with that. Next up, Breath of the Wild at number 3.
Hey, that was where I had it.
Right where you had it, yeah. Yeah, we may have another game in common further down the list. And number 2 is Hitman World of Assassination. I'm at 655 hours. I hope that my saves can transfer over to
I
Switch
really
2.
hope it does.
I hope so too, but I don't know.
But honestly, I'll have no problem playing through this whole game again because it's fantastic and I love it. Yeah, I've said so much about this game. Number 2, Hitman World of Assassination. And then number 1 is Tears of the Kingdom. So that's my list.
Tears of the Kingdom was the Zelda one, right?
That was the Zelda game. Yes,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
true.
All right, yeah. So, as far as if we give points to our top 10s here, our number 1 game is Tears of the Kingdom with 20 points, obviously, because you guys both have it on 10 there. That's at 20. Let's see. Number 2 would be Breath of the Wild at 16. Number 3 would be Animal Crossing New Horizons at 15. And number 4 would be Dragon Quest XI at 13. Number 5 would be Tetris 99 with 9 points. Or no. Tetris 99 is actually 11 points, not 9 points. So Tetris 99 would have 11 points at number 5. And then number 6 is Metroid Dread at 10. And then there's a bunch of stuff tied with that. So that's as far as we'll go here. But yeah, there's our.
Let's just say something about this system that we've got such a varied listing of our top 10. I think we all have our kind of our preferences of the types of games we like to play, and I think that's just it's cool. It's cool, like us as like semi-professional game journos, if you want to call us that, like that we've really, I don't know, like we've kind of like given a really good idea of the breadth of what the system has to offer, and it's not done yet. They're going to keep making games for it, like after Switch 2 comes out, like
Well, sure,
for
yeah.
years, probably for years and years.
But the Switch 2 versions will be better, right?
Of course.
We'll be able to get those games as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, killer system. Did really, really well, obviously. And I mean, I think Switch 2 will do well, but I don't know if it'll do as well as Switch 1.
I don't think
Like,
it's
really,
gonna. I think there's
you
gonna
know.
be a lot of complaints about it because as a more modern system, it's just how it's gonna be.
I mean, it was Switch 1 was was Nintendo, doing the thing that people, doing the revolution. It's like the revolution and the evolution, right, between the two different ones. And
It's the
This-
Gunpei Yokoi like with their technology thing, where like they're squeezing like all this joy out of technology that everybody else left behind.
yeah, but it was also like everybody's like, oh yeah, no, nobody cares about handhelds anymore, and Nintendo was like, oh wait, but hold on,
But hold on, that's what we do.
yeah, let's
so
let's
well.
do a handheld and a. It was what I always wanted, like ever going as far back as the fucking Super Game Boy on Super Nintendo. I always wanted there to be a handheld that you could play on the TV, and back and forth constantly. I've talked about how much I love like the Game Boy Player and the GameCube and the Super Game Boy and and just having all this where you can play it handheld and on the screen. It's just
Sega did it first, but they were just way too ahead of the time with their Nomad.
the Nomad, yeah, but the Nomad didn't work that well, and the batteries depleted very quickly.
And the screen was terrible.
Yeah, so I mean, it wasn't quite there, but I mean, it's like it was what I always wanted, like to And I thought about this even going back to the GameCube with the Game Boy Advance connecting thing. Where you could do like where you could play on the island on Animal Crossing, or whatever. I was like, this is what we need. We need something where you can detach and you can play it on your hand, and you bring it back, you put it on your TV, and you can play it there, and we have it, and they did it. And then people thought that handhelds were dead, but then how many handhelds have we had after this? Like with people trying to be Switches, it's just like. It's like fucking. It's like PlayStation Move all over again. It's like
Yeah,
we're
motion controls.
Where it's like, hey, let's say Nintendo's dead, and then we'll all try to do what they're doing. So that's what we had. But I'm very excited about the Switch 2, obviously. But we cannot forget the Switch 1 and how incredible the games were. And they brought back. I feel like they just brought so many things back to life that maybe were almost dead. Like, like 2D Metroid, like beat 'em ups, like point and clicks, like. Just so many games, like lots of old RPGs, like getting re-released, and
Every Final Fantasy up till 12 is on Switch.
yeah, just a beautiful retro RPG fighting games. Like there's just so many great retro things on there. As John was saying, with like the Kunio-kun collect, there's like just so many collections of different things that you can play, or like the Capcom Fighting Collection that just came out, which has like, games that I would have never. Like Dreamcast games, that I never thought would ever show up on Nintendo systems or whatever. Like, they just keep bringing it.
The Nintendo Switch Online, where you could play like a Super Nintendo game online with your friend, as though it was local. Like we could play Panal de Pon together and stuff like.
Yeah, that was a really
So
big
cool.
deal, really big deal too. Yeah, I mean, just
I was
remember.
playing with my nephews and it's a lot of fun.
I mean, just think back before that on the Wii U, where like how much would you have to pay to get all of these games to be able to play them through like Virtual Console or whatnot? Like, I like this where you just pay a flat fee and then you just get whatever they dole out to you. So you can have some really weird games like Survival Kits on Game Boy Color or whatever.
Yeah.
Or Nemesis 2 on Game Boy straight up or whatever. Like I'll just dole out these really weird ass games that you would never pay for, but you can try them out. And you might end up liking them. So I like that.
Congrats, Switch 1. You did it.
You did it.
Hats off to you, Switch 1. So, yeah. Awesome. All right, well, hats off to this episode also, because
That's
we
right.
gotta end it here. Just like the Switch, we gotta move on to greener pastures of Switch.
We have covered the entire history of the Switch, including all of the rumors leading up to it before we knew what it was called, when we were still calling it the NX. This system has been kind of like critical to us as a podcast, I think. So there's a lot of
400
there's
some
a lot
episodes because
I was gonna say there's a lot of like we got to give a lot of credit to them too for sustaining us in that regard.
our Switch episode, like when the Switch came out, our episode was episode 59 is what it was. So look it up in the archives or check it out on our YouTube channel. It's on there too. But we salute you, Switch 1. I'm very excited to see Switch 2. And
we'll be here for the entire run of that as well.
And we'll talk about that. Yeah. It's good to do.
We'll talk about that next week with our impressions of the Switch 2.
Moving on to a new generation. And hopefully we'll all get one. Hopefully we'll all be able to get it.
We will. At
least get GameCube controllers.
Immediate. Right.
I mean, at some point, yeah. But at least we'll know have GameCube controllers by next week. But yeah, anyway, thanks so much for everybody who stuck around for this long on this episode of Nintendo Main 474. If you want to check us out on Blue Sky, just look up Nintendo Main or just my name, Trey Johnson, or Jared Domain on there. Or if you like to support us and send us some money and hear ad-free podcasts with higher bitrate and all that fun stuff, go to patreon.com/Nintendo Main Podcast. And it's like for $5 a month, which is like $1 an episode. That's like you can get a bonus show, and actually you get a bonus show for one. But you can also get the WRT radio and the videos and all that stuff that are on there for that. So check it out and all of that. And youtube.com/Nintendo Main Podcast also. But we've been your hosts. I'm Trey Johnson.
I'm Jared Mikowski.
John Hitter.
And thanks everybody for listening. We'll see you next time in the next generation of Switches.
See ya. 2. It's got magnets.
That's the sound of traveling to the future. Because now you don't snap anymore because now you got to do this because it's not as cool as
It's like,
but whatever.